Okay, I am on the final stretches of the game, so we're gonna check out the Zhang dude's his campaign. Okay, so let me just move on to this dude. He's the original protagonist. He's like the question mark guy. He's the reincarnated slave that got killed off for being a slave in some rebellion. I don't know. Wei River's Bank. Ooh. What was this guy named? Oh, Zhang. Oh, I still have headbutt. I'm level 1. I'm a baby. I have 1 skill point and no skills to use it on.
哎呦，你瞧瞧，你瞧瞧，谁说这直钩就钓不上鱼？
Hey, who said a straight hook couldn't catch a fish?
就带你神游这一会儿功夫，大鱼就上来了5、6条。我这小小鱼篓啊，可要装不下喽。
I caught a half dozen of fish just when you were lost in thought. This little basket can hardly hold them. Ah, that's a lot of fish. Must be pretty stinky. A familiar voice, a sudden trance. Their faces emerge in the sea of your mind and fade away. Nuzhao, Baizi, Jingying, Xingjiao, and Xiao and Kui. You open your mouth, trying to call them by their names, with the hope of summoning them back before they disappear. Oh damn. Disappear into what? Quicksand? The currents of time? A destiny? Unwanted?
还没回过神来吗？
Are you still lost? Yeah, I'm completely lost.
看看清楚，子莹，你的面前只有我这个龟钓人而已。
Hey there, Zhang. There's only me, the fisherman, before you. He waves a hand before your eyes to get your attention. So I'm lost in thought, yes. How much time has passed?
江上博得半日闲，流风已千里。纵有斗转物换，三秋日月。这一盏沉香未尽，又能过得了几时？
Angling by the river's bank for half a day. 1,000 years have passed. Stars rotate and seasons alternate, but the incense is still lit. Oh yeah, the little incense on this table here. How much time do you think has passed?
让你记住那些用血肉堆砌的刻骨铭心，只消这片刻光阴，便够。
It is enough to engrave them into your mind, these memories forged from blood and flesh in such a short while. You look at the incense in utter astonishment and find it isn't finished burning yet. Then you touch your clothes, they're still wet. Wow. So it feels like I just got rescued from the river, right? It's like you're still in that hour, I suppose.
我承认是快了点儿，但每多一刻，这世上在遭受
More people will fall prey to misfortune for every moment of delay, and their suffering will worsen. Ah, so he's kind of telling me to hurry up a bit? Alright. What happened?
不过是在出发之前，带你
Oh,
认识
nothing
一些
happened. I just mentioned some interesting people to you before we set off. What those people experienced is but a miniature of this era. I guess the Western Count Shibo had brought you to the sacrifice pit of the king.
无凭之流。
The painful struggles
见
sadden
有
me.
心者失心。
So does the fate as homeless floating weeds. Only after witnessing the ends of righteous ones do we know the hardships of our people.
子莹，你可还记得自己的使命？
Zhang, do you remember your mission and your responsibility? Oh, you think I'm a responsible adult? Well, I'm here. I'm unemployed playing video games. I'm definitely responsible. Anyway, so my mission and my responsibility as this prisoner is to, I don't know, get revenge. I don't even want revenge anymore. I feel like all those other characters are like trying to just live their life.
对了，我必须提醒一下，在和我聊天
Well,
这
let
段
me
过程
remind you, things are
一切都还
worsening
在
just
恶
as we
化。
talk. Oh dear. You see a vast, boundless land. On it is fire and smoke. Its people are starving and fleeing home under tyranny and suppression. Its surface is scattered with worries, bones, blood and tears. Wow, I mean, I must have really good eyesight if I can see tears on the land. Yet Dizhao, the so-called son of the deities, stands loftily on top of Starpicker's platform and enjoys the privilege of being the only and absolute ruler of this land. He's a ruler of a broken land. That's definitely something to be proud of. Cool beans. Zhang, it's time to make a decision. Your experience from the 6 lives spanned many centuries, and finally their fates converge in the rotten land named Sui. Their ideals, now buried and forgotten, are manifested in every fight, every wound, and every drop of tears. The fisherman's voice finally brings you back to your body again, which bears the name Zhang. At this moment, you feel your mind has never been so clear. I shall save them, I shall end what is happening, I shall bring the land a new hope. Right, I shall save them sounds very idealistic. I shall end what is happening is different. It's, instead of striving for a positive, or you're trying to do like damage control, I shall bring the land a new hope is, well, I mean, technically this guy's not really a normal mortal anymore, so, you know, you have the responsibility of... So I'll have to pick... I'll just pick the last option. As for what I caught in the basket, I'll leave them to you as a reward. The precious experience shall assist you, while those sunk into the depths of fate shall once more see the light of day and decide their destiny. Iridescent lights flow on you as he finishes speaking, enveloping you in their brilliant glow. Fatigue slowly fades away, and you feel your limbs are full of vigor again. Oh my god. Damn, he's a magical girl, or magical man, he just transformed. With like... I mean, he went from being shirtless to shirtful. Go ahead, do what you see as just. Ah, he's leaving the decision to me. I wonder if he's happier in this clothing, or he's just pretending to be happier. What does he look like? So he has all this silk robes, he's got some tassels and a crown. I'm still level 1, I'm like a baby, wait. Oh, every single passive is someone's will. Interesting, it's like the cool fish that you caught. Okay, well, fish basket. The fisherman's basket lies motionlessly by the river, and its enchanting aura attracts you. Ooh, they're like emitting pheromones or something? I too love the smell of fresh fish, yes. They smell like, I don't know, they smell cute, I don't know. I used to have a pet fish, I had a betta fish. He was very beautiful, he had like a veil tail. His name was Neptune. The bottom half of the basket is still in the water, and the fish inside are swimming lively, ascending and diving. They occasionally jump out. They seem like they expect you to take them into your hands. And you find faint glimmers of different colors shining on the scales of the fish, which surprises you. You feel an impulse to take one out and inspect. Inspect which fish? Ooh. Well, let's see. My favorite color is red. So, orange-red one, let's go. It's a very classic goldfish. As if sensing your thoughts, the fish whirls in the water, displaying an extraordinary, captivating red color to you. You reach your hands into the basket gently, taking it out with a scoop of water. But just as it leaves the basket, the fish melts into a beam and disappears into the clear water you're holding. The next moment, a blurred figure emerges in your mind. Someone seems to be waiting for you somewhere. The moon floats into the sky from the eastern hills, shrouding the nighttime forest in its mysterious and serene silvery light. A stream is murmuring in the layers of shrubs, adding to the quiet path a hint of liveliness. A gentle giggle rings out with splashes of water. You push the shrub branches aside and notice a graceful figure. Her thick and wet hair is shining with water, resting carelessly on her shoulders. Under the hems of the red robe is her lethal curve. The lady is just as gorgeous and tempting as you remembered. What a pity, good young man. If you came here earlier, you would see a more lively scene. What? What did I miss? Jingying? Though you do not have romantic intentions, you feel you're a bit distracted by her unparalleled beauty. You collect your thoughts hurriedly and recall the tragic yet resolute moments she shared with Bai Chi, as well as the lady's independent and firm will. It is a determination against life and death, an unbending belief in her ideal in the apocalypses that Qingtao depicted. You look haggard, yet your mien is majestic. Your eyes are clear and glorious. She casts you several sights, and her joking look gives way to an interested expression. What drives you to meet Jingying here? We could just talk a bit, right? Hey, gal, how's it going? I thought what I experienced was already the most absurd, yet your words far exceed what I have thought. She smiles courteously and gathers up her hair behind. I didn't hope to be a lady of scheming, but I indeed survived in the palace and spent many years there. Now it's too hard to bestow my trust on anyone except for him. Your words are indeed convincing, but it's not polite to speak out what I thought too bluntly, so please pardon me. So is she alive? It's kind of interesting, like, is this happening in, like, a mind space, or is, like, the present day just really, really messed up? Like, the land is on fire, messed up? Well, you know, I need your help, miss. Let's see. I have said that there's only one person in this world on whom I would bestow my trust. Jingying narrows her eyes as if many memories came back to her. My days should have been numbered, and my time has stopped at the night we died together. Yet I see this world again, but I am not prepared to face it alone. Her eyes are brimming with unrestrainable sorrow. Perhaps it's because I haven't figured out how to endure the future without him. Oh, interesting. She's refusing to help me. I actually have to win her trust. So I have to go back to the fish basket. We have to pick someone else who's not as hesitant. Right, you have to save her lover first, I guess. Expect which fish? Her lover is probably the greenish fish. You reach out following the thought, trying to catch the fish. It tries to evade you in the beginning, but after several half-hearted attempts, it lets itself be caught in your hands and brought out from the water. However, the fish vanishes into a glow just after leaving the basket, and all that remains in your hands are clear drops. Oh, this fish is very nervous. He's very skittish. He didn't want to get caught. I mean, understandable, Mr. Fishy. Alrighty. The next moment, a blurred figure emerges in your mind. Someone seems to be waiting for you somewhere. Born in Xiqi, if it weren't for the figure that the Gui angler took you before, you might never have had the opportunity to see the magnificent sea. The sound of the waves came softly from the bottom of the cliff. On a quiet night, will it be the same as Xiqi with the breeze and the song of cicadas? On a night like this, will anyone come here like you have, waiting for the dawn of the east? As if responding to your thoughts, the leisurely strings of a guqing suddenly sound, combining the rhythm of all things and blending into a world and a world. A slender man in a green robe stands in the bamboo forest, cutting an ethereal and otherworldly figure under the moonlight. Okay, Bai Chi, you're here. You've witnessed his lonely, forlorn past eras. You've also traveled his long and tough way and felt his firm and restrained softness. The tunes from his guqing express his moods. It is also the only way he can reach his mother. Greetings, Your Excellency. How can you find me, a deceased person, here? His music comes to an end as he begins to talk in a gentle and endearing tone. His voice is so melodious, and no wonder Jingying was attracted to him at first sight, you think to yourself. We can talk, right? Bai Chi is a reserved person, but he is by no means slow or silly. He experienced so many inhibitions, tricks, and exploitations in his former life, and you cannot bear to lie to him again. You step down in front of him and sit down silently, telling your experience and determination to him. A long time passes. The man closes his eyes and begins to pluck the strings gently. A sorrowful tune flows from his guqing, echoing with the wind into a weeping elegy. So, I need your help, mister. Brother Ziying. Ziying, right? Ziying? Is that the pronunciation? Okay, Brother Ziying. Baizi is not looking at you. He casts his gaze into a more distant place. I still return and play guqing here after so many events, including death. Do you know why? An unfulfilled duty to your homeland? You should tell your thoughts to your mother, or in memory of your past. I'm not going to go with the unfulfilled duty to your homeland. That's kind of awkward. Well, because you either have to marry your sister or you marry your lover, right? We'll be vague and say in memory of your past. These days were indeed the loneliest and gloomiest ones when I was a young boy, but they might as well be the most cherishable ones in my life. Baizi looks at a big tree in front of him, smiling bitterly. I can still recall the angry look of Baiji when she leaped down from this tree and complained about me. His voice is calm, yet you notice teardrops streaming down from the corners of his closed eyes. However, I have a lifelong remorse more important than that. My father, the Western Count, was betrayed by his subordinate during his uprising against the king. Then he was beheaded. Oh, that's the protagonist speaking. It's okay. Well, right. The protagonist's father was the Western Count who was betrayed. Oh, wait, that's interesting. I thought the Western Count was a villain. He's kind of framed as a villain, but it's actually this guy's father. You look at Baizi and speak out about your past. It is a memory you never wanted to recall, but it keeps torturing you. The bloody seed haunts my mind. Every day I lived as a slave. We both failed our identities, and we both have duties that must be fulfilled. You rest a hand on Baichi's shoulder and look into his eyes with an ardent and resolute gaze. We cannot allow ourselves to live under shadows, right? Your fiery eyes meet with Baichi's like a sharp sword. From this moment, you are no longer two ordinary men chatting on Sea Gazer's cliff. You've become two future kings shouldering their duties for states and peoples, promising to fight together. Thank you, Brother Ziying. Baichi regains his gentle and amicable demeanor and stands up, carrying his guqing in his arms. See you in Xiqi. The long night is over. A red sun emerges from the sea, painting the water and the sky bright red with a morning glow. Sea Gazer's cliff witnesses a new dawn. Oh, I leveled up from talking. Wow, that's OP. You gain experience from talking. Woohoo! Lady Jingying, I have met your loved one. You tell Jingying and the appointment between you and Baichi and its every detail. Her look changes several times between surprised and melancholic, and then becomes a firm determination. I shall do my best to assist you, helping the people achieve a brighter future than the days under Dizhao's reign. You know what hides in her fair body after you explain what she encountered, an ardent heart. And now she has made a promise. What more could you hope for? Thank you, dear young man, for granting me the chance to see him again. She speaks softly. Her words are no longer frivolous. They are brimming with a deep, heartfelt feeling. The fish seems to hear your call as the thought emerges in your mind. With a powerful leap, the azure and silver-white fish darts at you. You reach out to it in a hurry. However, it turns into a beam and fades away into the void at the instant you hold it. You feel only the chilliness from the drops of water falling on your body. The next moment, a blurred figure emerges in your mind. Someone seems to be waiting for you somewhere. Unlocked ancient tribe site. Inspect which fish. The all-golden one. A fish with all-golden scales won't be trapped in a pond. As the idea comes to your mind, the fish jumps vigorously as if answering your command. You have heard the folktale of carp leaping into Dragon's Gate, and the fish's graceful move reminds you of the legend. You quickly reach your hands to it, but it transforms into a flash of light and vanishes in an instant. The next moment, a blurred figure emerges in your mind. So you've unlocked Blith City. Inspect which fish, the beige and purplish one. Which one is that one? Oh, it's the two brothers. Different from others, this fish seems to be the most sedate. But the fish suddenly dashes away just as you reach, and the purple part on it glows dazzlingly. Then a beige light envelopes the purple glow, and it becomes pacified again as it swims to you following your wish. As you take it out, the fish turns into a beam that gradually fades away into nothingness. Galsy Meadow. So all of these guys are here. Alright, well, we will go here in a sensible way, right? Well, I guess since I am apparently a fast traveler, I can go wherever I want. So we'll go to the ancient tribe site with the giant tree. Look around. Following the guide in your mind, you come to an unfamiliar sight. Here is a barren, open plain. Dry winds sweep through the vast terrain, carrying fine, yellowish grit into the air. Countless wooden houses stand, all rotten and dimmed under the erosion of time. Traces of a burning bonfire are still in the round site, and unintelligible symbols can be seen on the ancient cliffs. There is also a withered tree. Its huge trunk finally failed to withstand the weather and broke down, leaving lifeless remains in the tomb made by time. You walk silently before your toes hit something. It is a round plate of unknown material. Now, it is half buried under sand, and the orb on it is dim and dull. The memory from thousands of years ago suddenly comes to you. Yes, you know what it looked like when it was glowing. Dizhao used to hold it in her hand and projected herself into the boundless sea of stars in the future. You picked it up from the sand and hold it with your own hands, and the wind finally ceases. Gentle footsteps ring out from behind you. Dizhao is here. Wow, she looks much older. Her resolute and soft eyes are just the same as you remembered. Her azure and white robe flatters gently in the wind as she walks to you in quiet steps, unwilling to disturb the serenity of this land. Her face is still a bit young and childish, yet starlight shines on wherever she stands. Zhang, you are here. Can talk? How do I know your name? She rotates the star wheel in her hands with the look as pure and chilly as ever. I have seen the future of all, a powerful great era. And you, Zhang. A faint smile appears on Dizhao's face as her coldness melts away, her eyes brimming with hope and softness. You are the one leading the people here to that future. I need your help, Dizhao. It seems that you also know me very well. Dizhao looks at you silently, her eyes probing into every corner of your mind. Then, allow me to make a divination for you, like what I did when we first met. Let's see whether I will be present in your future. Oh dear, what happens if I fail? I failed. Earth and Earth, another pair of the same trigrams. The divination indicates a benefit from a noble filly. A gentleman heading a place is lost before meeting his master and will find a friend by going southwest. Kun, the earth, is the sign of softness and extending earth chi with a pure Ying nature. Dizhao shakes her hand gently and continues with a resigned smile. It means you will get lost and meet a master, and it is good to go southwest for a benediction from a female horse. Wow, you stare at her with utter astonishment. Your fate reached its bottom at the moment of being thrown into the Wei River. But then you are saved by the fishermen and were guided into your ideal. It echoes her words about getting lost and meeting a master. The site is just located in the southwestern land. Just as she said, you find a friend from thousands of years ago, the incarnation of a noble filly. The divination suggests you couldn't achieve something alone. You should first win the hearts and the support of your friends, and then act together to make it. And it seems that I won't have any reason to decline you. You are indeed the chosen one. Nuzao reaches out her hand gently, pressing her palm to you. Here, touch my hand with yours. Touch your palm? You walk to her and extend your hand, pressing your palm on Nuzao's cold and tiny hand. In an instant, your thoughts and pasts intertwine. You know how to win Nuzao's support and trust, that is, paying her candidness in the depth of your memory. You must display without reservation to her your painful past, confusion, your fury as well as your firm will. And a subtle spark flashes by Nuzao's eyes at this moment. Now, she knows you have experienced what she and her clan members met thousands of years ago. For her, the girl learning divination at her mother's side in Yarrow Garden has long gone. It is a memory so distant, yet so precious. Your palms separate. I'll wait for you in Xiqi City. Nuzao's gentle words linger in the air as she walks away into the wind silently, just like the moment she came here. And you hear a nearly unintelligible soft voice amid the sound of the wind. Thank you, Zhang. Okay. Very cool. So, we visited the ancient place. I suppose we can talk to the two brothers at the meadow. And if we look around, warm breezes are caressing your senses with their humid breaths. As someone born in Xiqi, you have never enjoyed such sweet, succulent air. The region called Namba is suffering under the war, yet the grassland near Galsy Meadow is still undisturbed. However, you know the peace here won't last long. Moos of buffaloes come from afar. The two young boys you remembered walk towards you from a distance, driving their herds at their side. It looks like the beige one is a little more amicable, so we'll talk to him. He looks a bit dreary, though. You must admit a fact. The brothers you remembered are always a bit different from what you see now. He is Kuei, a silent boy with a resilient and forgiving heart who always understands and protects. At this moment, he is feeding the large black buffalo at his side, smiling in delight as he hears the chewing sound. He is as plain as a child from the countryside. If they were born into a peaceful era, the brothers would have lived out their days, happy and carefree. You can talk to him. I have heard what you said just now. Kuei scratches his head and dispels your thoughts of repeating the words. I don't mean I dislike it, I just don't want you to say it again. It's, well, tiresome. I need your help. I know what you said is all true. Kuei finishes feeding the buffalo and turns to you, looking at you solemnly. I can see you are different from them, and I believe you. But the Nanba people can't afford another war. He speaks with some hesitation. Could you allow us, and only us, to join you? Seeing your approval, Kuei finally nods. I'll make it clear with my brother. After we get prepared, we'll head to Xiqi City and wait for you there. He scratches his head again with an embarrassed look following his words. I apologize for the bad things we did. You must have suffered a lot from our experience. Kuei, the fate is beyond our control. You pat on his sturdy shoulder. Will the people in Nanba get a better end? As long as enslavement and oppression worsens? And even if you are refrained from doing anything, what could you have done? You are right. Kuei sighs in relief as his look relaxes. Let's make our unrealized hopes come true together. Ooh. New skill point. So we managed to talk to the reasonable brother. It looks like we'll have to talk to Xiao. He looks at you with a interesting smile. He's kind of smirking a bit. I'm Xiao. The red-haired boy talks as briskly as before, jumping from his buffalo's back and striding to you. He led the resistance army and left piles of bones, shocking the great Sui with his ambition and madness. You wouldn't think they are one if you didn't see the slaughters and the confession at the end of despair. Oh, so I came back here again just because of you. He spits away the foxtail grass in his mouth and curls his lips. Believe it or not, I was not a cowherd before. I was a person condemned by this tribe and land. He looks dim as he shakes his head gently. And I thought I could escape my appalling crimes by simply leaving the world. Yet, it proves to be a daydream. Yeah, you got reincarnated. You can't just leave your crimes behind. Not even death relieves you of your sins. But I need your help, man. You tell all you have seen to Xiao, and to your surprise he doesn't interrupt you now. He only listens silently to the end. Perhaps he still doesn't know how to face you, the one who engraved all of his past in mind. To be honest, I feel a bit terrified by what you said. Xiao leaves a deep sigh as a hint of hesitation flashes by his eyes. The line between right and wrong is sometimes too thin and will be crossed by even the slightest misstep, and then one will be beyond redemption. Perhaps I am not so qualified to make such a decision for myself. You look at the young boy. He is totally different from the crazy leader you remembered, yet you know he hasn't changed. The unrestrainable power may invite doom, but once made good use of, it may open a new way. Maybe allowing me to talk with Kuei. You pat on his shoulder, not wanting to force him into a decision. The path I am going to follow will only be more grimmer than yours if I ever make a mistake. If I were you, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself and join the next possibly catastrophic journey after experiencing such a disaster. Hearing your empathy, his dimmed look finally brightens up. He looks at you with sincerity and gratitude. All right. Is he joining? Or he might not be joining, I don't know. He's like in exile. Alright, we're going to talk to the marshal who lives in Blith City in her land. Look around. The hills outside Blith City bask under the setting sun, just like what she saw here upon her arrival. However, the desolate city at the foot of them is totally different. Now, its streets are crowded and its flowers blooming. An imposing statue stands in the center of the square, becoming the common memory and faith of the people here. To my surprise, they made such a statue. A person comes to your side. Perhaps the prosperous scene under the setting sun is indeed charming, and even the city's former owner will pause to look at it. Oh. She doesn't own the city, but she still hangs out here. She's a very haughty woman. She has that angle. She is Xingjiao. As you see her, the past you recalled together with the fisherman comes back into your mind more clearly. You remember the hellish, blood-stained battlefield. Death and blood are not the most fearsome things. Only the losses and the tears are the knives piercing into a heart at midnight. And you will follow the same course in a tougher and crueler way as the lady did. You wonder if you can be as glorious as her, achieving things that no one had done before. Let's have a discussion. Let's do some social niceties. I guess you are the reason summoning me back here. Xingjiao is still looking at Blith City under her feet, yet she is speaking to you. I'm content with the bustling scene. Just tell me if you need my assistance. Her words are concise and straightforward like her halberd, always hitting the target effectively. Don't you want to know what I am asking for? You ask out of curiosity. Go ahead. Well, I need your help. You tell all you've experienced and your plan to Xingjiao. She is as calm as ever, listening attentively with a solemn look, as if what you said is a battlefield report. You catch a subtle expression on her face. As mentioned, the young spearman on his chariot perished in a snowy night. As you mentioned, the young spearman who perished in a snowy night on a chariot. Oh my god, okay. A slight twitch flits by the center of her brows. How many persons and losses are buried in the depth of her memory, haunting her mind to the end of her life? I believe it will be a better future. She exhales gently as she casts her sight to Blith City under her feet. A greater, better future than here. She did not really need as much convincing, huh? Pretty nice. Oh my god. I'm leveling to level 10? What? Level 11? Level 12. Oh my god. This dude's like cheating. I mean, if you don't put on gear, this will be interesting. So we can leave Blith City. We'll probably save and see what happens. Damn, I'm already like halfway done with this moment. Let's see. Xiqi City. I've healed 142 HP. Okay. Or something like that. Here is Xiqi City, an unadorned yet splendid city under the western mountains. Its familiar appearance broadens your mind again as you return here. You know, this will be the beginning of your next journey.
在这条无法回头的道路上，你的选择决定了命运。
And in this path, allowing no return, your choices will decide the fates of all of you.
宽语言，情语法。
To be lenient or strict, to follow common feelings or laws, or to decide which one to take or to abandon. These are responsibilities you are bound to shoulder in the march to the great cause. Zhang, let me see the level you can reach. Okay, interesting. So if you mess up, you'll have to... You can try different endings, I suppose. We'll try the first event. Authority, strategy, troops, reputation, morality, justice. Oh my god, you have 6 stats to go for. That's gonna be a bit tricky to balance. Because you don't know what any of them mean. Well, okay, this is the first attempt. If Tiansui City is the sun in the center of the land, emitting its light and heat in every direction, Xiqi City would be an austere eagle to the west, who nests in the mountains and soars under the sky, casting its firm gaze to the land. Your father enjoyed the heartfelt respect and support of his people when he was alive. And after the treacherous Tu Xian died in your hands, you became the undisputed next ruler. The end chapter storyline begins. In this chapter, your choices will not lead to a game over. Instead, they will open the different endings of the story. Zhang has 6 stats, namely authority, reputation, strategy, morality, troops, and justice. They are all 0 at the beginning, and their changes will affect the end of the story. Please choose carefully. You walk into the streets paved in bluestone slabs again. Though Xiqi City is no longer the one you remembered, you find the 6 familiar figures are already waiting here. Oh, that's a very cute picture. Xiao spots you from afar, and after patting Kui's shoulder, he waves a hand to you. Jingying and Baici are looking at you smilingly, their arms held together. Xingjiao is polishing the pole of her halberd alone, while Nuzao seems to be musing, her long eyelashes blinking on her closed eyes. Companions, huh? Who do you want to greet first? Well, based off of seniority, the divination girl is the oldest because she's thousands of years old. I'm here, my friends. You step forward and bow to them. They are all indispensable companions on the path to your ideal. Then you turn to Nuzao. Hello, miss. I see you've closed your eyes and thinking. Are you making a divination? I've received one called Attending. It is formed by water on heaven, a wandering divination in earth direction. It means hesitation and hope. Although one's will is resolute, it would be better to wait since there are obstacles in front. The star wheel dims as Nuzao opens her eyes, speaking to you with a calm voice. You are already each other's sincere friends, so there's no need for excessive pleasantries. You talk casually and walk to the Western Council room, where 2 wise masters are waiting for you. They are Nan Gongshi and San Yisheng, the 2 most reliable officials who won your father's trust. We are glad to see you, Your Excellency. The 2 kneel and salute you as you approach them. As your respectable mentors, they instructed you carefully while your father was alive, and they are also devoted advisors. Their precious advice helped Xiqi to lay a foundation for an uprising against Sui. You support them to stand up and ask about the condition of Xiqi now. The traitor has been executed and the people united. It is the moment to gather your force again and do right for the land. Zhang Yishen speaks seriously. Zhang Yishen nods. Now, the foundation has been laid, but due to the previous defeat and your new succession, we suggest you stabilize the administration first before the plan. Please don't act hurriedly. Please do not rush. Let's see. Well, interesting. You're supposed to be a leader. If you agree without expressing your opinion, is that even real leadership? Alright, well, we can express an opinion. Dear masters, your judgment is sensible, but I would make an addition. You speak out your opinion after thinking. Such a capable person like my father still failed to realize his ideals despite the efforts he made over decades. Administration is indeed the most important matter now. But if we want to win against Sui, we must do what my father failed. Hearing your words, they exchange a look of utter surprise. It really is beyond their expectation as they find the young master who only sat in front of them and listened carefully shortly before, has grown into a calm and considerate leader. So this splits your authority and strategy +5 to each. Nangongshi presents you with a long scroll listing the most urgent issues now. Internal affairs, so we have 3 of them. Secure the rear, seize fled slaves, and ally with vassal states. Do we even have a rear? We can seize fled slaves. Is that really going to do anything? We can ally with vassal states. I mean, it might take a lot of effort. Alright, ally with vassal states. In the days of our former ruler, we have had communications with other states, including Yong, Shu, Qian, Lu, and Peng. Their monarchs are disheartened by the king's elimination of the 4 counts. Now, the 8 states tend to form alliances, and if we make them our allies, we will win great support. Your eyes brighten up. That's exactly what you were planning. The noble cause for everyone requires the great power of every person against the great Sui, and you can only win a decisive battle through cooperation. If we secure the rear, there's a barbaric tribe, interesting. Chuanrong keeps harassing our border, and their activities are increasingly rampant. They place their force near the rear of our army, and will certainly get a chance to step in if we are all out for fighting. As for Chuanrong, you know it is a nomadic people to the farther west who live by looting and plundering, and their leader also holds cruel ambitions. One of the prerequisites to your uprising is to eliminate the serious threat from the rear. Okay, so I guess there's not really any decision to be made here. Seize fled slaves. The numbers of fled slaves keep increasing. The King of Sui arrests them as his own on a large scale, enraging their owners. We need to search carefully and seize the fled slaves, then win them back to their owners, then send them back to their owners to win support. So, it means I need to deal with the issue of fleeing slaves to win support from powerful slave owners. You are a bit disgusted. Your experience as a slave made you detest slavery, to the extent that you hope to abolish it immediately and thoroughly. However, slave owners become a powerful counter you must take hold of in the fight against the Great Sui. Since the king is arresting their slaves in his own palace, gaining support from the irritated slave owners will be necessary. Besides, you know you need absolute power to rewrite a rule, and to do it, you must accumulate power first. Thank you, dear masters. Your suggestions are concise and crucial. You nod at them and put down the scroll. The policy of seizing fled slaves used to be implemented by my father, and dear masters, please work for it. So your morality goes down, and your reputation increases. We will do our best to repay your trust. And as for the works of allying the vassal states and fending off Chuanrong, I'll point them to the extraordinary figures at my side. You speak to the masters as you begin to think who are the most suitable ones. Who will you appoint to secure the rear and subdue Tranrong? You can pick Xingjiao, Xiao, or Kui. They're from the north, right? Huh. I mean, Xingjiao is definitely the best answer. But Kui might... Kui is better at defense. So, but he's not really a militant guy. If we go for the obvious answer, it might work. I don't know if Xiao is good enough. He seems a bit mentally unstable, but he does have a powerful effect. Okay, we'll put Xingjiao for the subduction, right? Xingjiao has fought countless battles, knowing how to lead an army and her subordinate generals. The firm and resolute lady would be the best candidate for dealing with rude scoundrels like Tranrong. Justice +10. Who will you appoint to drum up support and facilitate an alliance? Oh, interesting. Jingying, Nuzhao, or Baizi. So alliances, and then the last... What was the last issue? There was a slavery, there's the alliances. Okay, we'll put Jingying for this one. The reason behind Jingying's achievement as the royal consort in the perilous palace life is not only her beauty, her experience in balancing the interests of all parties, and achieving her goals by specific means will make her the most suitable candidate for facilitating the alliance. Reputation +5 and strategy +5. After arranging personnel for the most urgent matters, you go out for an inspection. Finally, you have a detailed knowledge of the conditions of the barracks, workshops, streets, houses, and farmland. You spend many days on such matters. Though the inspection is tiresome and mundane, you know the stairs to success are always built by trivial matters. Ooh, deal special damage equaling to the total number of your buff stacks to a random target when you cast an active skill. End chapter ceremony. Event.
考验会接踵而至，而这只是其中之一罢了。
Today, all the matters related to people's lives are finally done, but you don't want to take a rest. Instead, you are planning to learn about the progress of the 3 important tasks you pointed to the others. You trust the abilities of the persons, but you also want to eliminate possible errors, since the tasks are the foundations of the future things to come. As if replying to your thoughts, Xingjiao comes to the Western Count's mansion to visit you. Upon seeing you, the lady in military uniform asks you to join in the operation against Tranrong together. No soldier will respect a king who stays behind closed gates. Her words are as sharp and straightforward as ever, like the halberd she wields. You know, soldiers are different from civilians. If you keep yourself away from the battlefield and only command in the rear, you will never win their trust. And you still remember the betrayal of Tuxian, a hard lesson you learned with blood. You must take the firmest hold of your army, leaving no space for uncertainty. Therefore, let the operations against the ambitious barbarians be the first martial deed you make for Xiqi. You and Xingjiao head to the barrack and lead the army into the march. Soon you arrive at the western battlefield. The Tranrongs hold wolves as their emblem, and their leader is always under the flag of the White Wolf. Inside the tent, a vice general is reporting something important. They take plundering, their main battle style, and by their powerful cavalry they can break the enemy line rapidly. Then they will charge and slash the panicked soldiers till the last opponent falls. Xiqi's soldiers are renowned for their skill and bravery. After a brief pondering, Xingjiao speaks out her opinion. However, Xiqi's climate is not suitable for livestock husbandry, and the people here mainly make a living by tending to their lands. Therefore, we must purchase war horses from other states, which seriously restricts the size and fighting capacity of our cavalry. If we choose to confront them directly, we would be fighting the most elite part of the enemy with our weakest part. Indeed, Your Excellency, even if we can win under such a circumstance, we will suffer huge casualties. The Vice General nods again and again, feeling relieved by the further explanation you speak on behalf of him. Therefore, it would be best to charge at wherever the flag stands and bring down the Tranrong leader rapidly. You look at Xingjiao thoughtfully. What's your opinion? It would indeed be a good plan if we could eliminate the leader. However, the condition of battles may change suddenly and our expectations may fail. She shakes her head and continues, we must prepare another plan. In my eyes, we can lure the enemy with a few cavalrymen. The decoy squad will feign to fight and then flee, leading the enemy into the battlefield ambushed by our troops. This plan has an advantage. Since Quangrong troops always tend to plunder, they will probably fall into the trap we set for them. But the disadvantage is the casualties of the decoy squad will be heavy, since they will be chased by Quangrong troops. Xingjiao finishes her additional explanation and bows before you. Please make your decision, Your Excellency. We shall follow your order. Other commanders bow, following Xingjiao's action, showing their unquestioning obedience to your orders. Now you must take responsibility for the war and the troops and decide. If you lure the enemy into ambush versus you cut down the leader in one strike. Well, this will require you to purchase war horses from other states. So if you purchase war horses from other states, that would help you make an alliance with them, so we might have to cut down the leader. Your senses as a military commander tell you to follow the safer plan. However, you believe though casualties are nearly inevitable in a war, you should at least try to avoid them. The path you will follow leads ultimately to the dignity and happiness of human beings. If you choose to sacrifice comrades for your ideal in the very beginning, it would be a betrayal. In the end, you decide to adopt the riskier plan to cut down the Quangrong leader in one rapid strike. Then you lead an elite squad into the assault. Your morality and reputation precedes you. Ooh, you might fail the roll. The assassination failed. Okay. You draw out the sword and spur your horse, charging at where the flag of White Wolf flutters. However, your army's formation was disturbed under Quangrong cavalryman's successive charges, and you were blocked several times on your way to the flag. After some elite fighters shielded you with their lives, you broke through the enemy line and made your way to Quangrong leader. You raise a sword bathed in blood and point at him with fierce killing desire. He shall perish here now. So we lost some of our troops. That's not a good sign. I mean, the ambush might have not caused the loss. So, I did not wear any items. Unfortunately, I don't know how this person works. Okay, we can put on a shield. I will probably hit this guy. Probably this one is better. We can try re-rolling the other two, see if we get any Yang tokens. Reroll the last one. So I don't have any items on, so this is actually kind of tricky. Right. Right. We'll just use it here. And end the turn. Oof, this is pretty risky. I'm immune to damage. Oof. Maybe I should put on some extra items, because not having the extra items is a little tricky. Right, so Chosen Power gives you... Yeah, we'll use this one, and then we'll use this one. Okay, they have a lot of shielding. Right, and then you can do multi-target damage. That bypasses shield. Rising Tide. Yo, so... I don't know if that is really useful. Multiple piercing damage to you, deal damage to you. Deal 20 special damage. Chosen Power. Pretty useless. So we'll just do that. Ouch. I'm dying here. Quite risky. Right, because we definitely need the chosen power here. We can re-roll, see if we get anything. That's not good. Reroll again. So we do this one. Oof. Wait, what does the chosen power do? Restore 20% of your max. Oh, I see. That helps. Probably want to do this one. Chosen power does extra damage. Right. So it hits that guy. Yeah. The end of the turn. Alright, so we have one guy eliminated. It's not too bad, actually. It turns out it's... okay, that's a lot of damage, though. Okay, so you can heal yourself with this skill, which is a bit OP. I would say. I have chosen power. So you need... right, well you have to heal after... right, whereas... this one gives you more Yang tokens. Right, then this heals you. Oh, I did this wrong. Okay, I did this wrong. Oops. Okay, let me try to get some Yings, because that's important. You definitely need the extra buffs here. For the extra healing. Right, you can do this if you want to heal. Try to reroll some extra die. If it's helpful. Yeah. Chosen power clears your debuffs. I don't have any debuffs, so probably this would help. And then... right. Then you want to... I don't have time for that. We can do this one instead. Right, so if we put this one down... it deals damage and also poisons him. That'll be the end of the turn, so you have a lot of debuffs on this guy. Oof. So I have chosen power. Right. So I am gonna reroll the other things. Cost 15% to chosen power, restores 20% of your max HP. Oh, I get a lot of tokens. I probably should have not sacrificed so much HP. Okay, so that's the first fight with wearing very basic gear. You parry Trongrong leader's blade and move sideward, and the next moment your sword is drawn out with a splatter of blood. The sound of blade-piercing flesh is brief and faint due to the extreme sharpness of your weapon. As the two warhorses brush past, your enemy's head falls to the ground. Blood gushes out from the wound on his neck like a fountain, painting the soil around him red. Hear me, Trongrong. Or it's more like, hear me! Right, hear me, Trongrong. You gather all your power and shout out, Your voice claps across the battlefield like thunder, covering even the drum sounds. Your leader is dead. Who dare to continue the fight shall be beheaded. Discard your arms and surrender, and we shall spare you. The first Chongwang soldier discards his weapons, followed by a clanking noise in every direction. A large part of Chongwang troops choose to surrender, and the few who keep resisting are killed in an instant. More enemies put down their weapons after witnessing the bloody heads. Okay, I guess it was successful. You defeated the leader. Your soldiers lift their spears to the sky in cheerful yells. Their voice proclaims your victory. The battle on the west frontier wiped away nearly all of the Chongwang army, and only less than 100 enemy soldiers fled. You and Xingzhao launch another raid after the victory, chasing down for more than 2,000 miles and clearing all the Chongwang forces deployed near the border of Xiqi. Chongwang suffers a tremendous loss from the battle, and they won't be able to gather another invading force in decades. Damn, dude was just chasing them for 2,000 kilometers. Like, holy crap.
珍惜每一次可以自由支配的时间吧。对于你来说，
Cherish every unoccupied moment. For you, nothing more would be precious than that. Today, you're not occupied with urgent work. What would you like to do? Right? Collect debts in advance. Purchase supplies. You send a caravan to purchase the supplies you need from other places. Right, a bow is a very noble weapon. That'll be it. This tranquil meditation trinket is a bit OP. It gives you 3 yang tokens that are pretty much necessary. Probably the 2 random die is really useful for this character. I don't know if there's going to be any battles we can try out. We can have an event. Oh, event time.
再大的雄心壮志，也需要时间的点滴堆砌。
Almost 3 years ago have passed since you came back to Xiqi. At that time, the city just suffered a great loss from your father's defeat and execution, and its condition worsened under Tushian's rule. You executed Tushian and carried out the wish of your father. You spent 2 years restoring the people's lives and developing commerce, as well as making connections with powerful figures and training your troops. Now Xiqi City's bustling scene is even more prosperous than before. Its markets are filled with shops and stalls, and the hawking from peddlers can be heard everywhere. In the streets, one can find traders from different states coming and going, and in the barracks, the dozens of thousands of soldiers are guarding the city in a neat order. The scene reminds you of a bad memory. When you were back here 2 years ago, a thief stole your purse in the streets. You smile embarrassedly at the incident. Would your father be delighted by your effort if he lived to see today's Xiqi? Your Excellency, your merit in governing has exceeded our former rulers. Zhang Yishen stands at your side, looking to the east. He then adds, however, please pardon what I will say. Your father's ambition included not only Xiqi. Yes, you sigh faintly. Benefiting the people in Xiqi is only the beginning and not an end. As long as the King of Sui still rules with cruelty and an iron fist, the world would be on the brink of disaster. Oh my god. Oh damn, we can ask if the quote-unquote the party is ready. Is the uprising ready, right? Is the rebellion ready? All is well prepared. The army will set off after we form the alliance. Nan Gongshi reports to you, and after 3 days the monarchs from the 8 states will meet in Mengjing. We will take the oath to ally. And begin the uprising against Sui with everyone's power and cooperation. Mengjing, you nod at his words. The fire in your heart has been waiting for a long time, and soon it will get the chance to burst out. Go to Mengjing already. So 3 days later, Yong, Shu, Qiang, Mao, Wei, Lu, Peng, and Pu. The 8 states have planted their banners on the hill inside the site, and now the banners are fluttering in the fierce wind. It is indeed a grand meeting, and you, as the future alliance leader, will take the oath and rally the vassals. You feel a bit nervous. Ah yes, performance anxiety, let's go. Jingying walks to your side with graceful steps and begins to speak calmly. The 8 states have reached some consensus on fighting against Sui. have reached a consensus. The 8 states have reached a consensus to go against Sui after your maneuver these years. You will not meet too many obstacles today. Thank you for your help these years. You expressed your heartfelt gratitude to her. If not for the mediation of you and Bai Zi, I would not have seen this day so early, or so soon. Saying thanks is not enough. Maybe promise me something? Jingying's voice is as charming as ever as she casts you a fascinating look or glance. You won't forget our ordinary people after you become the new king, will you? Will you remember us, I'll certainly promise you something. You nod hurriedly and ask her, but I don't know what it is that you want. You took my joke seriously. She smiles gently, but the next moment her eyes are brimming with memory. I recall the good old days. If we overturn Sui and establish our own state, please allow me to run another clinic in the busiest avenue of its capital. And what about Brother Bai Zi? Or do you want to take him as your assistant? You are taken in an amused surprise by her words as you find her wish very simple. As a man, his main duty is catering to me. She grins playfully and taps on her forehead's corner. My little quarter makes me happy, while I make money for us. She's intending to turn the lute player into a house hubby. Interesting. And backed by the clinic bestowed by Zhang, the new king, and my excellent medical expertise, I can certainly support his daily life. Sounds like something only you would say. You shake your head resignedly as you cast a side glance to Bai Zi. But this time, you must be well constrained if you see handsome patients. Again. Oh. Damn, it's like... I'm sure you can control yourself around handsome patients that walk into your clinic, right? Hey, keep your voice low. She's irritated by your remark and pokes you with a sharp finger hiding in her sleeve. Everyone did absurd things out of love when they were young. Do you think all of us are interested only in the art of governance like you? You yell out of pain, yet the resonant horn sounds cover your voice. They mark the beginning of the meeting, and now it's time to appear on the platform as the Alliance leader. Jingying's joke dispels your anxiety as you talk to her. You cast her a grateful look and walk away, climbing to the peak of the hill. Your gaze sweeps through the 8 monarchs, and an unprecedented courage surges through your heart. You lift up the ceremonial yue and read out the oath. Hear, my peers and comrades, please hear my words. From the heavens and the earth, every living being was born, and among all the beings, humankind is the wisest. The wisest humans became our rulers, caring for us like parents. However, Dizhao, the King of Sui, shows no respect for his creators and cares not for his people's suffering. He is obsessed with hedonism and tyranny, executing persons by clans and favoring persons by generations. He cares only splendid abodes, gardens, and garments, and by them he has exploited everyone. As you read these sentences, you notice many faces lit up by anger. The king's arbitrary conduct indeed incites a common indigence among many hearts. Then, you will stress your righteous cause or stress the king's tyranny. Okay, that's a very... Well, the decision is on your speech. But you do improvise a bit to kind of read the room. Is anger the correct emotion? Or is righteousness the correct emotion? According to modern-day marketing tactics, or attention-grabbing clickbait, anger seems to be the most volatile, but most powerful emotion, so we can emphasize the king's tyranny. He only said, "I have the people and the mandate," and his arrogance has never wavered. The heavens blessed us and created kings and masters, hoping us to assist the deities and bring prosperity from every direction. How dare I treat the guilty and the innocent, not following the will of the heavens? Morality plus 20, reputation plus 20. Oh, so you just incited the crowd. The people are all nodding at your words. Then you continue your oath. Sui has committed every crime, and the heavens ordered me to overturn them. If I do not follow the order, I would be just as evil as the tyrant himself. Then, after I've considered it for days and nights, I decided to continue the work left behind by my father, and made an offering to the heavens in the temple. Now, I will lead you to punish the tyrant on behalf of the heavens. We are the blessed people, and our wish will come true. The time has come, so please aid me in the cause of liberating the land from suffering. Your oath ends in the deafening yells and acclaims throughout the meeting ground. War drums begin to sound at this moment, and the 8 monarchs walk to the platform together, mixing their blood into a cup of liquor. Then they drink the symbol of firm declaration, taking their oaths to change everyone's fate. At this moment, your look darts through the blurred sky, the roaring wind, and the extending landscape into the royal palace in the distant east, and the man named Dizhao on the lofty platform. From now on, you will point your sword at Xiqi City and never retreat. Troops plus 100. Oh, there's like the eagle eyes. You just eye your rival from afar. Kind of really like have that like fuck you energy, right? It's like, is that how this works? Okay, it looks like some of my stats are out of the red. War is a deadly nightmare, and yet it is the only way to force change. After the meeting, you made an appointment with the vassal states to converge with the armies in Muye for the decisive battle. To arrive there, the Xiqi army must capture the 5 important passes from west to east. The 5 passes are namely Xishui, Jiepai, Chuanyuan, Tongguan, and Mianchi. They are 5 firm guards against your army's march eastward to Tianshui, and they all boast great advantages in terrain and supplies. If you fail to capture any of them, your troops will in turn be defeated by attrition. They are tough battles, yet we must win them. I hope all of you are prepared. Inside the tent, you slap the sword on the table and speak with clutched fists. Now we are going to capture Xishui Pass, the natural barrier to the Yellow River and the Luo River, and the first one of the passes on our way. I ordered Xiao and Kuei to station a vanguard 3 days before, so please report what you find now. Here, Xiao sits on the table near you, arms supporting his body. He leaps down upon hearing your words. We surveyed the garrison in Xishui Pass and the dangers near it. Ask me any question. Well, we have to ask about both of them. Alright, what are the potential dangers? The pass is very narrow. Our army is large, but it would be impossible to make a formation in such a terrain, and we can only march in there in a thin line. Then the 2 flanks will become our weakest parts. Here is the most fatal risk. There are 2 other passes within 100 miles, namely Jiameng and Qinglong. They won't block our march, yet they confront Xishui Pass. If we ignore them, our flanks can possibly be assaulted in their directions, and our supply line may be blocked or our army cut and split into 2. And there is a garrison in Xishui. After the uprising began, that unruly Dizhao took Xishui Pass as his front line, plus an intelligence department. He sent there a head called Hanrong, the man who was originally in charge of gathering information. His skill in commanding troops is not worth mentioning. However, his vice general Yu Hua is very tough. Xiao becomes solemn as the joking tone in his words fades. This man wields a weapon called Blood Melt Blade, dripped in an unknown poison. The wound cut by it keeps bleeding, and the blood from it turns black. It is a serious threat. And the blood drawn by this blade turns black. Ooh, very risky, very, very scary. Very mystical, actually. He also owns the Chariot of Blades. Only he can drive it, and once launched, it produces smoke and flames. Its deadliest ability are the blades shot in every direction. Our troops must not confront it. Your brows furrow. You have known the advantageous terrain for the garrisons in the 5 passes, and yet these details prove even more troublesome. In my eyes, we also need to capture Jiameng and Qinglong passes. Kuei begins to speak after a long silence, and though he does not say a lot, you find his opinion coincides with yours. Let us split the army. You finally make a decision after pondering for a while. Xiao and Kuei, you lead troops to Qinglong Pass. Xingjiao, you lead troops to Jiamen Pass. The attack, in fact, is a feigned one. You should pin down the enemies in the two passes, thus preventing them from further action. You point out the places on the map and order accurately, and I will lead the rest, a larger part of our army, to capture Sishui. Oh my god, I can't pronounce this. After I deal with Yuhua, I will come to assist you. We will make the three passes a reliable ground for supplies, once we capture all of them. Roger that, got it. Therefore, you finished making the plan. The first battle and capturing the three passes is imminent. It will be a while before the army sets out. What shall you do? Inspire your soldiers, tend wounds, inspect the terrain. We'll have to inspect the terrain. You bring several elite fighters with you for a reconnaissance of the battleground, and by that you are more prepared for the upcoming battle. Authority and strategy are increased by 5. As everything is prepared, your army begins to march following the plan. You lead your army to the gate of the pass and begin to provoke the garrison with curses. The Hanrong insists to close the gate and ignore you. Yuhua doesn't think you are a worthy opponent. Then he leads his men out after lowering the drawbridge, calling you into a duel by name. In fear of the possible severe casualties he may inflict with his two toys, you agree to his request. A grim smile extends across Yuhua's face as he draws out his blood-melt blade. He must be dreaming of winning an unparalleled honor by killing you here and now and routing your army. Your resolution is firm. You shall cut him down here. Oh. It's quite risky. So we don't know what any of these things will do. Chosen power restores. Okay, well, we can do this and heal ourselves again. That's how this works. So we have to attack this chariot symbol thing. I mean, it could be a blade, right? I'm not quite sure what this is. Well, I think with the buffs, this would help. We can hit this thing. Poison, burning, bleeding. I'll probably just do as much damage as I possibly can. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Still deal multiple damage to me, grant shield to allies, and enhance them. We can do some damage. He's immune. Immune to a basic damage skill, and will soon cast. Oh. That's pretty bad. Right. I have to attack that guy. I mean, you can definitely try and get some ings and see if that works. Nope, I didn't get any. I broke the shield. Alright, we're good. Right, so you give myself the shield. Okay, I don't need to debuff. I probably want to buff myself. That's probably better. Oof. Oh my god, dude. What the? Okay. Right. Probably do that. Get some tokens. Okay, he died. Nice. We are doing just fine. Okay. Yuhua can't believe the fact, even at the moment he falls under your blade. The young Xiqi leader in rumors is really fueled with a fearsome will. And following your order, your army launches their attack in an instant. Xiqi troops rush into the pass even before the garrison can raise the drawbridge, and soon, Sui Pass is captured. You leave Sang Yisheng and Nanggong Shi here for successive matters. Then you lead Nu Zhao, Jingying, and Bai Chi, as well as a squad of the fastest cavalrymen to Jiameng Pass. Xingjiao has fallen into a disadvantage as you arrive here. The generals of the garrison in Jiameng Pass are known as the Four Demons from the Mo family, namely Li Qing, Li Hong, Li Lai, and Li Shou. Their fighting technique is far inferior to Xingjiao's, yet their odd spells and magic items keep her constantly on the run. If not for the dragon blood she inherited, Xingjiao would be exhausted from the fight and unable to lead her troops. Seeing her dilemma, you draw out your sword into the charge without a word. Oh damn, it's 4 dragons. The 4 brothers. Well, we will do this, I suppose. Start with some buffs. First, I give myself a shield. And then every one attack applies 1 burning and 1 poison. Nourishing. Okay, we will do damage to all of them. Right, we'll have to buff ourselves with this. So who should we kill first? The healer? I think the healer. That's gonna be the call. Oh. Interesting. I'm immune to damage. Let's try and reroll for some Ying tokens. I did not get any Ying tokens. Okay, we can do that one. Right, we will debuff the fighter here. And then try to kill that healer. Didn't do quite enough damage. Alright, we're gonna end the round. I'm getting debuffed like hell. Okay, so it was the right call to attack the healer, but he did not heal himself, which is nice. Named and eliminate. So I definitely want to clear the debuffs with this thingy. So let's go with that one. And then Boatman's Song. I think that's a typo. This one actually gives you a token if you remove your debuffs. Alright, that's fine. I actually... wait a minute. I'm gonna reroll. See what happens. Okay, it didn't do anything. That's okay. I'm gonna shield myself. Buff myself. Do extra damage. think he should die, right? 4 times 2 is how much? That's 8 damage, but it should kill him. Alright, so we got rid of that healer. Good news, right? Good news. Already used this. Deity to fire. Sharpest blade. Oh, I forgot the debuff. Oops. Well, we'll reroll and see what happens. Did not get it. Okay, I'm gonna end the turn. Immune to damage for 1 round. The fact that this guy is immune to damage is pretty OP, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, so we'll just add more stacks, because that's pretty OP. So I have this special force that finishes most of them. Then you do damage to this guy. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. That should— okay, that finishes him off. So gaining buffs somehow does retaliation damage. I'm kind of curious. I don't know what skill does that leads to that, but okay, after sensing the imminent defeat, Mo Lisha releases his spotted weasel, yet Jingying drives it off with her Qingqiu spell. Mo Li Hai begins to play his emerald pipa, but Bai Chi soon shatters it with the notes from Warworn. Mo Li Hong opens his umbrella of chaos, trying to turn the tide. However, the beams from Dizhao's star wheel dazzle him blind, and his umbrella's ribs break. As for Mo Li Qing, who drew his azure cloud sword for an all-out fight, he is soon disarmed. His sword falls after being parried by your blade, and the next moment your sword runs into his chest. Therefore, you have seized Jiameng Pass. The next aim is Qinglong Pass. Hum-and-Hah Generals. Xiao and Kui's opponents are Zhang Lung and Chen Qi. The 2 generals are enhanced by a mysterious spell, and they fight with the pure and formless energies from their noses and mouths. Their unique way of fighting earned them the nickname Hum-and-Hah Generals. As you arrive here, you see Xiao and Kui have awakened Xiaonu's heart and are fighting in their demonic forms, yet they can only defend themselves. The garrison in Qinglong Pass is severely disturbed after seeing a reinforcement of the enemy, and the 2 generals seem also panicked. They exchange a look hurriedly and retreat from their opponents before charging at you. Okay. Alright, you can fight me. So Boatman's Song is not really the best weapon. It gives you a token, but I seem to have enough tokens for the most part. Right, so it's kind of questionable. What buffs do they have? So this guy has Firm Build. He gains shield equal to 25% of his lost HP when the round ends. And so does the other guy. Oh. That is gross. Right, so... Alright, let's re-roll and see if we get any... Okay, we'll re-roll again. See if we get any... Okay, I need a way to get some of these Yangs, because... Anyway, we'll just do damage to this guy. That's probably the best thing. Right? And then... we can burn him and do a little bit of damage. The shield is not too much, it's just 25%. And we do have piercing damage, so we are well prepared, I suppose. Okay. We definitely need to do that. Remove our debuffs. Right, give myself some shielding. Increase my stats as much as possible. Because that's important. I do damage to this guy. Okay, he didn't. That was not a good idea. Okay, it's still worked out alright. And that's the end of the turn. So if you're immune to damage, like, that's pretty OP. I mean, you're not immune to debuffs, but you're immune to damage. So, we'll see. Reroll. Ah, that's an interesting effect. I think, yeah, I decided to attack him. That was the better use of that chosen power buff, or chosen power stack. Oh, okay. So they thought you would be the weakest point in the army and tried to pin down Xiao and Kuei with the duel. However, your power has far exceeded their anticipations, as you evade their strikes again and again. Then, after the brothers come to assist you, the generals finally cease to hum and ha. Under the glorious setting sun, Xiqi's standard finally flutters on the gate tower of Qinglong Pass. Led by your wise decisions and brave fighting, your army wins the perilous battles for the 3 passes within a few days. Reputation and strategy have both gained 10 points. The dangers in the rear have all been cleared. Though there are still obstacles ahead, you and your army are certain about a final victory. Ah, being certain of the future, that is a very, very big mistake, but I guess they are hopeful, right? They're hopeful. That's pretty good.
和你父亲相比，你越来越像个真正的战士了。
You look increasingly like a true warrior compared to your father. So this is Jiepai Pass, I guess, something like that. After capturing Susui Pass, your next aim becomes Jiepai. You learn that Shugai, the commander of the garrison there, planned to surrender, yet his vice-generals from the court, Tengzeng and Wangbao, took his right to command and decided to fight to the death against Xiqi. I have had the honor to meet them. Jingying nudges Bai Ci at her side and continues. We saw them in a banquet back in the day. A banquet in Starpicker's platform. The 2 men were originally arranged on the floor of diviners, but they were soon invited to Dizhao's side due to their occult arts. You reminded me of them, Bai Ci nods after thinking for a moment. They used to advertise their formation called Blooming Lotus to the king, saying anyone trapped in it would be smashed to smithereens under their attacks. Is it really that formidable? You frown at the words and turn to Nuzao, hoping she can reveal something. Augmenting. The divination consists of wind on thunder, a triple variated divination in wind direction. Nuzao's voice is calm. Therefore, the so-called smash to smithereens is probably done with thunder and augmented by storm. Her composed look pacifies you. And can I find a way to solve it? Augmenting means being boosted by something. It benefits the action of pursuing aims, and it mostly brings good results. Nuzao winks and smiles gently. It suggests you make your efforts and advance bravely. If you believe me, you can just ignore the formation and fight as usual. Alright, you nod at the girl. Nuzao must have a reason to make such judgment. Inside the camp. It will be a while before the army sets out. What do you plan to do? Well, okay, so one of these options will increase your stats, I believe. Okay, authority is at 10, strategy is at 30, troops is at 85, reputation 65, morality is 15, justice is 10. I'm not sure how many endings there are, but if we try to go for something well-rounded, then I can inspire my soldiers. You go to the barracks to inspire your soldiers and give them a fiery speech. The morale in the Xiqi army has increased. Authority and reputation +5. Ooh. That helps, but my justice is still 10, so that's kind of concerning. It makes me seem like I'm not a very just person. It's like my morality and justice are like the lowest, but my reputation and strategy are relatively high. So, yeah, I don't know how that works, but okay. Just after you are prepared for the fight, you hear yells and curses from outside the camp. To your surprise, the enemy has launched an attack first. The two generals are swearing at your troops in front of them, but you only draw out your sword and charge at them. Wow, they are surprised by your daring action and set the formation in a hurry, engaging in the fight with much caution. Oh, these guys are cautious. I mean, they kind of look like... I guess they look like generals. They both use spears. Oh, I got debuffed. Blooming Lotus. Take special damage equaling to 20% of the max HP when the round begins. That does not sound good. 20% of... So I'm gonna take 28 damage per round. Alright. Alright, I see how this works. Alright. Well, I did just take 28 damage, so... Okay. So first I sacrifice HP to gain some tokens. Because I should... Okay, if I use this, right, with the enhancement... The dragon... This is actually the chosen power enhancement, but there's an inconsistent naming convention. They call it Dragon Force. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, if I use it with this skill, I will heal up 20% of my max HP. So I believe this counters the debuff. What? Wait. These twins have a Blooming Lotus buff, so their formation allows them to restore 50% of the max HP and clear debuffs every 3 rounds. This guy deals multiple damage, while this other guy inflicts debuffs. Okay, we'll hit the green guy first. He has less HP, so that it's only less by 7, but that's kind of the gist. Yeah, whatever. Single target damage. Oh my god, he has 166 shielding. That didn't do anything. Okay, let's see, even active skill. Okay, I wanted to buff myself because that is the most important part. Right, we need that reviving buff to counteract this damage-taking debuff, with the special damage. So the higher you can get this reviving, the more safer it will be for me. So that's usually the main goal for every round. Yeah, I'll just... Well, actually... We can reroll and see if we get any extra ing tokens. No. Okay, let me reroll again. Nope, that didn't do anything. Goodness gracious. Alright. Smack this guy. Yeah, bring his shield down. Oh, wait, I should have done the penetrating damage option. Well. I will do this instead. Wait a minute. Oh, I did not cancel that. Oh well, whatever. That's okay. Not a big deal. So, I think we'll do special damage. And then debuff him. Yeah. That's all I can do. That was all the cards I can play. I mean, I don't know, this character's a bit OP, he can just... Holy crap. That just broke my shield. I mean, this guy can literally become immune to damage. Like, I don't know, that's like pretty OP. That's why I haven't changed that skill. Then we can cast this on this dude. The Sharpest Blade skill does a lot of damage when you have the correct chosen power token active, so that's why I would have to do that. So then Rising Tide to try and finish him off. Okay, Azure Blade. That will finish him off. There we go. Brother, you are almost dead. Okay. And then we debuff him. And he should die in, like, the next turn. Okay. Well, that was pretty smooth. This guy's very haughty. Your so-called Blooming Lotus is but a cover-up. With a cold sneer, your lightning-quick blade pierces their throats. The garrison in Jiepai is thrown into confusion and disarray. Seeing the rout, Shu Gai is finally convinced to surrender, and as a result, your capture of Jiepai Pass has gone smoothly without encountering fierce resistance. His Majesty indeed did many bad things. Shu Gai shakes his head and sighs helplessly. His conduct failed Xiqi and the people he ruled, and there's no hope in people's eyes nor spirit in the soldiers' mien. If overturning his state will light up the eyes of the people again, I am willing to become a traitor. Please, do not call yourself a traitor. You support him to stand up and look at the man with firm and earnest eyes. We all pursue what we believe, and all of our efforts are made under our responsibility and the expectations from the ones we cherish. Shu Gai's eyes shine with tears as he grasps her hands and nods in excitement. Well, it is always delightful to meet new comrades on your way to your ideal. And to your surprise, after your subordinates secretly brought Shu Gai's relatives out from Xiqi City and settled them in Xiqi, Shu Gai has expressed his gratitude by writing a letter to his younger brother, the commander in Chuanyun Pass, named Shu Fang, to persuade him. After being convinced, Shu Fang opened the gate and surrendered Chuanyun Pass to you. Damn, it's the power of words. It's like the pen is mightier than the sword, right? Now, there are only 2 passes before you, Tongguang and Mianzi. I'm only wearing level 1 clothing. I mean, I have the really OP amulets. This weapon is kind of meh. I don't like this weapon. Alright, we'll try this. It might help with the next.
斯人只朝夕，万古报同
A mortal
贯。
life is as brief as a day, yet Tongguang stands forever. Here is Tongguang Pass, a firm barrier against plunderers and barbarians from the west, impregnable cliff that has held back countless nomads and invaders over the years. Even our ancestor Chi failed to capture this place. Shao recalls his tribe's past and speaks with a sigh. And besides, the pass is guarded by the generals from the Yu family, and they are far less sensible than Commander Shu. Shu Gai. Stop making fun of me. Shu Gai is a bit embarrassed by the sudden praise and waves his hands, shifting the subject back to the battle. Tongguang Pass is only about 40 miles from Chuanyuan Pass, and the generals here are the 5 sons of the commander-in-chief, Yu Hualong. Oh, that's the chief. Among the Yu brothers, Da, Zhao, Guang, and Xian are unworthy of being worried about. But Yu De fights with some vile tricks. Do you mean he excels in poisoning? Xingzhao frowns at what he says. She's apparently feeling a strong disgust from such conduct. Maybe it's more precise to call it a plague or an epidemic. Shu Gai also shudders as he pronounces the names. The man can spread some viruses using his own means. If so, we must examine the water and food of our army carefully every day. Jingying speaks out her opinion. Our enemy may poison them when we are off guard, since they can do so. Urgent! A scout breaks into the tent and interrupts the words. Your Excellency! Dozens of soldiers in the infantry camp fell ill and can only lie on their beds. What? You stand up with a slap on your table. Has the physician checked on them? Yes, and the physician says it is a grim and infectious disease, but we didn't find the cause of it yet. The scout sweats heavily as he says this. The condition is very grave. I will go see them. Jingying leaves the tent without any more words, and you also hurry to the wounded soldiers' camp with others. After about 2 hours, you return from the camp. I can only prevent the worsening of the disease and ease their pain with herbs. Jingying shakes her head before a hint of rage flashes by her eyes. To cure them, we should first know how Yuda spreads the disease, which we can only get we can only get this information from his mouth after we capture him alive. Alright, you refrain from saying anything more. Now, you know the battle to capture Tongguang has been turned into a war of attrition, and though you have quarantined the infected soldiers, the disease may still spread due to their previous contact with the others and the enemies, and the enemy may possibly, further spread this bioweapons on people, because, yeah. The situation allows no delay now, or your army risks being totally deprived of any fighting capacity. You plan to launch an immediate attack after some preparation. It'll be a while before the army sets out. What do you want to do? Well, I mean, if you're very active, you can... Does tending wounds do anything? Or does that just heal me? Because I don't need the healing, but everyone else does. So... we can inspire the soldiers. So the morale has increased. You lead the army into the Tongguan campaign after preparing briefly, and the generals you are facing are indeed the Yu brothers. Oh snap. I might regret changing my build. Or, you know, I might actually do just fine because I have changed to a multi-variable build. Right, so I have an active skill. Sounds cool. Song of Blood. Golden Glow. Midnight Assault. Okay, that's given me a decent amount to work with. Okay, we can go with the buff here. And we can attack them with a very nice Azure Blade. That is a lot of Yang tokens. Oh, that's all I can say, man. So this guy is really dying to buffs. Okay. Sharpest Blade. So if I stack all of these... Well, we can reroll, see if we get any tokens. Nope. Alright, we did not get any of them. Chosen Power. So what happens if I use it? Oh my god, I just... Holy okay. Okay. You parry and dodge with ease despite their smooth cooperation as they encircle you and launch numerous charges. After all, you have grown from the feeble slave to a powerful, resourceful alliance leader. After noticing an opening in their moves, you sweep out your sword into 3 consecutive strikes. Their weapons are knocked down by your blade. Even their hands are rent under the shock from the nimble yet powerful attack. Seeing them fall into a disadvantage, the brothers flee on their horses. A hail of arrows from the gate tower of Tongguan prevents you from chasing them. You won the fight, but the air in the camp is still gloomy. The garrison in Tongguan must have known the power of the Xiqi troops after the fight, and they will certainly choose to block you out of the pass with a tightly closed gate. At the same time, the epidemic is spreading. You can't afford further waiting. Today, you lead a squad to Tongguan's gate to provoke a fight. Though you know the chance is slim, you still hope the enemy can come out. Oh. Okay. We're just gonna roll for a very unlikely thing to happen. So the hope did not happen. Alright. However, no matter how fiercely you've cursed, the Yu brothers and their father remain quiet. The garrison in Tongguan seems to be following the tactics of a turtle, retreating into their firm shelter and shunning conflict. You yell and shout for a whole day, yet your curses fall on deaf ears and you can only return to camp. If you still fail to provoke a fight tomorrow, the epidemic will continue to spread and claim more lives. Troops -10. Yikes, the second day. Today you lead a squad to Tongguan's gate to provoke a fight. Though you know the chance is slim, you still hope the enemy can come out. We're just gonna assume the worst. We did not do this. -15, the third day. Today you lead a squad to Tongguan's gate again to provoke a fight, but Xiao comes to you at this moment. Hey, that's not going to do. You should insult them, taunt them, you know? He looks at you disdainfully, a foxtail grass dangling from his lips. Here, let me see what I can do. Following the words, he walks to the gate and unleashes a barrage of insults. Of, expletives, I suppose. His curses include the pockmarks on the leftmost soldier's face, to the leek shards in the rightmost one's teeth, as well as their oldest ancestors and youngest offsprings, and, worst of all, their female relatives. You hear various names of animals being pronounced one by one. The soldiers on the gate tower are exasperated, and several of them try to answer back. However, Xiao replies with arcane words like, "Oh, damn, this guy's— he has Gen Z talk. He's like a millennial Gen Z time traveler. Lamau, too long didn't read. Get clapped, man, and cool story, bro. Effectively shutting up the enemy." Alright, their faces are all red. Xiao points at the purple-red faces of the garrison troops and grins. "Let our men follow my example. I write what I said down, and they can do what I've done. I guess Yudo won't be so tolerant when he hears his mother being cursed by the dozens of thousands of Xiqi troops." Well, their mother, to be more precise. They are brothers. Xiao writes down the dirty words and shakes his head. Ah, what a pity. I wouldn't resort to such a method if not for their nasty, poisonous tricks. You shake your head as well. However, it is the only possible choice after you've exhausted all possible means. Then you follow Xiao's instruction and order your troops to provoke a fight using his method. Okay, well, if I fail this roll, I am the unluckiest person in the universe. Alright, cool. Your enemy has decided to shut the gate tightly. However, Xiqi keeps shouting out curses under the gate tower, shifting their targets from the enemy's oldest to the youngest, and, of course, the female relatives with every animal. Ah, yes, animal comparisons. Their dirty words exasperate the garrison troops, and they shoot hails of arrows as a reply. However, you only retreat from their range with your army and keep carrying out your plan. Besides, you promise to your troops that if you manage to provoke the enemy out of the gate, all soldiers joined in the special operation will get at least 1,000 coins, and will get more for more insults. Morality, -30. Your troops have been suffering under the epidemic, and your announcement excites them. Following this, the names of various animals. Okay, so we're trying to provoke them, and it's taking a while. After finally having had enough of you and your troops, Yude opens the gate and leads the army into the fight. Oh dear, it's boss time. This guy has like 4 arms, or am I imagining it? No, he just looks like a mysterious traveler. He wears a mask and his skin is purple. Is he even human? He's like a sorcerer. I mean, he's got like smoke behind him or something like that. Yeah, he's probably like a shadowmancer. Alright. First is this. Then it's... with this we'll get the buffs that we need. Then we buff myself to get more of the buffs. And then I get the tokens. Then I buff myself with the shield. Then we smack you with the attack. Right? Smack you again. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So this gives +4 damage per thing. So 4 times 3 is 12. Versus the 35% target's lost HP. His lost HP is about 200, so 35% of that's gonna be 60. I believe this will do more damage. We can try and reroll, see if we get... Wow, that is a very lucky roll. I don't know why I did that, because we just wanted to one-shot him. You know, like, we were just like, hey, don't even bother. Though the fighting desire of your army is woken up in the provoking, their power is debilitated by the epidemic. Yet your enemy is no better. After days of bearing insults, they too become too irritated and hot-headed to engage in a decent attack. Launching only sporadic and disorderly charges, the two armies appear to be deadlocked in the battle. However, as you knock Yude down from horseback, the Xiqi army finally gets the upper hand. As for the garrison troops, they can only flee or blame their commander and generals after losing to an opponent who excels in both the fight of words and swords. You capture Yude and bring him to your camp. and Jingying, Xingjiao, and others manage to get the solution to the disease from his mouth. You don't ask them what the prescription includes, but you know you finally have saved your troops from suffering. Therefore, the battle for Tongguan ends so briefly and hurriedly if compared to the fierce yet bloodless conflict before the fight. But I think the extra debuffing it will be good, so we'll go with this build and see what happens.
最后一关
The last campaign usually does not get finished smoothly. I hope you are prepared. Manchu's city ruins lie silently under the setting sun on a brief spring day. Once marching past Tongguang, your way east will run through a flat stretch of plains, though you still need to capture Mianchi. Your troops are confident about the fight after your victories. However, at this time, you never expect the battle for the last pass to be so perilous. Xiqi camps outside of Mianchi. This is the first night after your army entered the boundary of Manchu. Your troops are a bit tired after the march, and since you finally reached the plains after conquering 4 passes consecutively, you order them to encamp and take a rest early. You lie in the tent and soon fall half asleep. The bed in the army is hard, and if you were someone accustomed to soft beds, you probably would not have gotten a good rest here. However, you, the man bearing the name of Zhang, spent 3 years as a slave. They were hellish and hopeless days, and back then your rank was inferior to anyone here. What does the future in Dizhao's eyes look like? She certainly has seen more distant futures down the long river of time. What will your role be in the histories and tales told by the generations of people to come, of posterity? You banish the thoughts from your mind and stop pondering. After all, the days when the nightmare of Tu Xian and your father that has haunted you have gone forever. You feel a slight itch from your legs, yet your heavy eyelids prevent you from opening your eyes to check the spot. Your fingers twitch under the impulse to scratch, but you are too sleepy to move your arms. Soon you fall into slumber. After some time, you open your eyes again in the pitch-black darkness, not knowing how long it has been. Are you still in the tent? Are you awake or in a dream? You try to sit up, but you find your body is stiff, like what you've experienced in previous nightmares. Just at this moment, your tent is lit by a beam of moonlight, and under the starry sky, revealed through the narrow opening, you see a woman clad in a light cyan robe. That does not look cyan, that is very hot pink. Her profile glows in dreamy colors under the moonlight as the otherworldly woman walks to you, step by step. As she approaches your bed, she puts a finger on her lips. Then her serene face is brightened up by a slight flush as she bends down to you and kisses your lips. A delightful fragrance greets your nose, and a warm tingle creeps throughout your body as you feel the softness. No other lady has caressed you at such a close distance except for your mom, but you only have a very faint memory of her from your childhood. Your limbs are pinned down to the bed, allowing you to only look at what is happening before your eyes. Everything in the dream feels unreal, and even you have become someone totally different. The kiss lasts very long, to the extent of nearly stopping your breath. Finally, her lips retreat from yours, and dizziness comes down to your head, and you feel your body more sensitive. The strange woman has taken off her robe. You discern her seducing curves under the dim moonlight and are thrown into utter confusion. Facing her voluptuous body, you can only be guided by instinct. The woman grins and is going to sit down on you. At such a close distance, you can feel the ardent breaths of both of you. But at the moment she's about to mount, you find you can move your limbs. A hint of displeasure flits her face as she frowns at you and quickens her movements. You want some sexy time, huh? Is this like one of those choices that affects the ending? Is this a real person or is this an illusion? That's the question here. We'll just push her away. You reach to her and push the torrid body away, hesitating for an instant upon feeling her smooth skin. However, the watchfulness that you've gotten from your perilous days still drives you to resist the instinct, and you reject the pleasure close at hand. Yeah, just getting blue balls. Fun times. The serenity on her face gives way to an irritation. Then, with a swift turn, the woman puts on her cyan white robe again and disappears behind the narrow opening. Even her departure is as strange as her emergence. A hollow feeling engulfs you. You feel at a loss after the desire fades away and can only let yourself sink into sleep as an escape from your agitated mind. Oh, this part is not translated. Alright, I see. You nod at his words and look at Xingjia. We shall follow the plan before and launch our attack on Mianchi. It will be a while before the army sets out. What do you want to do? Do we want to tend wounds? Will that increase morality, or is that going to be a waste of efforts? I don't remember if tending wounds increases morality or just like just heals myself. Okay, we're gonna inspect the terrain. So we increase authority and increase strategy. After preparing all you need, you lead the army and march to Mianchi. However, as Zhang and Lanying appear before you, you are taken by utter astonishment. The woman you saw in the dream is just her, the enemy general by the name of Lanying. Wow. Zhang and Lanying. In an instant, you know what their so-called heterodox art includes. You've escaped our trick. Lucky boy. Lanying draws out her weapon with a cold sneer. Alrighty, they're very mystical generals. They have magic. She has a horn and a fan. He has a Super Saiyan anime... Sorry, a Taoist ring. Oh my god, massive damage. I'm not sure if I'm prepared to take massive damage. I don't have that immunity thingy anymore, so that's gonna suck. I went full offense, that is why, so... we'll have to hope I survive. You know? We will burn them. Okay, so this... What was his freaking name? Zhang. He's agile. He can block 1 time of basic damage. By chance. Okay, so I have the burning. I have the control power, the chosen power, so I am going to get the tokens that I need, and then you get the buffs. Right, you get 8 killing desire. I believe this will buff the killing desire to 20. So that is a very big buff. And then I will... Okay, we're gonna... We're gonna re-roll that last token. Oh, I didn't do that right. Oh, I screwed up. I forgot to say, okay. Alright, I might die. Okay, no problem. Obviously, right? It's fine. It's fine. I definitely screwed up the thing. I'm a little bit disappointed, but I did that, so, that's my fault. We can finish her off first, I believe. Well, we can attack him so that he's burning. Right? So now he does. Okay. Okay. Alright, just calm down. So we can try to save this by getting more Yang tokens, but probably won't happen. Okay. There we go. Wow, we got a lot of Yang tokens. Too bad it comes at the end. Okay, they do not do very high damage. Interesting. Okay. Sure. My sweetheart, let us fight with our true might. Okay, she has a magic circle now. So they like switched roles. That's quite cool, but also concerning. Alrighty. I'm gonna re-roll that entire conduit. Okay, well, we're gonna burn Song of Blood. That gives you that. Extra buffs. We're gonna make sure to keep all of that. This will give me the extra buffs. Okay, we're gonna debuff him. So we'll do the multi-attack to deal damage. Deal 4 damage 2 times. Right, let me... to deal 20 special damage. Yeah, it's kind of useless without the extra chosen power, so we're gonna end that turn. He died to poison. He has counterattack, needlework. Okay. This is the most perilous battle that you have encountered throughout this march. The couple has fought with spells complementing yin and yang, and they cooperate in perfect order. Their blades brush past you several times and would cut deep into your flesh if they drew an inch near. But there is no room for an alternative result. You draw your blade out from Lanying. Her blood drips from the sword. Then, with a powerful swipe, you order your army into the general offensive amid the beats of drums. Mianzi is captured. Alright, time to change that build, because this is not what I thought it would be.
最困难的时刻已经过去，接下来便是坦途一片。
The most difficult moments have passed, Mr. Fisherman says. Do I trust this DM, or is he's just joshing with me? Who knows? The Xiqi army manages to converge with the troops from the other vassal states after concluding the toughest phase by capturing Mianzi, and the forces merge into a great allied army marching to Muye. The movement shocks the entirety of Sui City, and some shrewd people cross over to your side. The troops have increased by +20. In the end, Dizhao calls back an army deployed in the east for the emergency and conscripts a large number of arrested slaves. By doing that, he gathers up a massive army of nearly 100,000 men, led by a giant named Wenhua, and sends it to Muye for the fight. Soon, Muye will become the ground for a great battle that involves more than 200,000 soldiers, an unprecedented scale throughout history. The camp of allied army west of Muye. The king's troops, though massive, cannot withstand a long fight. Xingjiao points out the problem sharply. The army from the east has never fought a battle west of the capital, and they will be hampered by both climate and terrain. As for the slave soldiers, they won't resist our armored infantrymen very long, if they even want to try. Indeed, Marshal Xing, you nod at her words. The quality of the allied army is undoubtedly superior to its enemies, and as long as you don't make grave mistakes, you will probably end the war with a decisive victory and march to Sui City. Urgent! You hear the scout's voice again, and your brows furrow. The news he brings here in the middle of the war meeting is probably very serious. Your Excellency, the Sui army is assaulting our camp. What? Before you can get more details, you hear terrible crushing sounds outside the tent. The generals hurry to check what's happening here, and they see Wenhua, the enemy commander. The giant is leading the assault, hurling rocks and logs at your direction. Ooh, damn, he's like Attack on Titan. Though your camp is well guarded, your troops have never saw or fought such a huge intruder. Countless tents are thrown in an instant, and a large number of soldiers are smashed. How dare you, vile creature! You glare at the giant with all red eyes, drawing the sword from your waist and launching a furious charge at the mountainous Wenhua. I mean, well, dude is almost immune to any damage, so, you know. Immune to control. He's very tough as well. Well, I don't have any control skills, so I'm not sure how that works, but okay. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I honestly don't know how that skill works. Yeah. I did not kill him in one shot. Oh? I guess you can just stab him, that's fine. So this 800 HP behemoth dies in 2 turns. Very interesting. You don't know how many slashes, pierces, and stabs you've made. You only remember the gushing blood and crazy, painful roars. Execution is the name of this card. Ah, you're very tired. And as the imposing giant finally falls, thud. You know, it's like thud, right? You collapse to the ground in utter exhaustion, limp and unable to move. This battle inflicted huge casualties on the Allied army, and even the supplies and gear have suffered considerable loss. Fortunately, the fight also eliminated the most threatening opponent of the enemy. The Battle of Muye breaks out after 5 days. The sky and the earth all turn red as the troops charge and slaughter, leaving piles of cut limbs and smashed flesh. The rout of the slave troops triggers a chain reaction. The defenses of the Sui army fall like dominoes, driving the war into a one-sided victory. The battle finally ends after 10 hours. Crows fly through the lifeless battlefield as all the roars and cries cease. All that remains are dead bodies and the red spots of soil occasionally seen underneath. You cannot remember the names of every fallen soldier, yet you know a simple fact. All glorious histories are supported by beams made from blood and flesh. Maybe the barren land will become verdant again after centuries, and maybe at that time the fallen soldiers would be resting here peacefully under rippling wheat, listening to the tales of the era they created. Oh dear. So...
我在想，如果人提前知晓自己的命运，
You know, I've been thinking, if people knew their futures in advance, would they still pick the same paths? The news of Sui's defeat in Muye spreads to Xiqi City, and so does the collapse of the Sui army. Established order has fallen. Many store owners and members of the nobility begin to flee from the capital, and the shops in the streets close down one by one. The impoverished peasants and slaves look preoccupied, fearing the uncertain and imminent disasters of war. 10 days later, the great Allied army arrives at the outskirts of Xiqi City in formidable arrays. Now, the final victory of such a powerful army is beyond doubt. However, different opinions begin to emerge in the army on the problem of how to treat the old factions represented by the king and the soldiers and civilians in the city. Zhang and other vassals who suffered long under the king's rule speak out their opinions. They believe they should eliminate all who have dared to resist and tear down the palace city, wiping out the remnants of the old days. Then they plan to move their people into the city and establish a completely new state. Other vassals represented by Shu suggest something different. They don't think they should destroy the orders left by Sui, the order and the structures, right? They should continue to use them to the most possible extent and divide the newly gained rights on the base of Sui. There are as well other opinions, but most of them are based only in their own interests. The different voices disturb your mind profoundly. You need respite. You leave the camp to your tent under the pretext of feeling unwell. However, you find your 6 friends waiting for you here. Perhaps their opinions are more valuable than the suggestions from the vassals. We can ask... who have we not asked much? Kuei? In the beginning, I only hoped the persons I cared for could be happy every day. Our parents, my brother, our tribe members. I hoped to get rid of bullies and live in joy and freedom. However, as they left me one by one, I began to hope I could protect them. After traveling such a long way, I find a huge number of people are still suffering. Kuei lowers his head and clenches his fist. And the reason why I accepted your invitation is to follow the hope that I can protect everyone. Haven't you mentioned you want to create a better world for all? I don't really know many arcane words. I only hope there is a set of rules that punish bad people and praise good people. It allows the feeble to be taken care of and to be free from bullying. Oh, we can ask his brother. Zhang, if you ask my opinion on it, I probably won't provide you useful insights. I was born in Namba and grew up being bullied, and my parents passed away when I was young. I would only be a petty cowherd if not for the path my fate had led me to. I don't believe in the legendary deities or supernatural creators. Only a leader like Chi, who alone led the common enfeebled into resistance against oppression. Only someone like him is worth my respect. There's no sympathy in my world. There's only paying blood with blood, and I won't bestow my kindness casually. Only my cherished ones are worth it. He smiles self-mockingly and shakes his head. That's why I started an impetuous war and drove others as well as myself into a crazy and absurd path. Occasionally, I feel envious of Dizhao. He, the son of the deities, who descended to this world on the back of a dark bird. He boasts such a noble identity and boundless wealth and the support of his people. Though he degraded into a tyrant under absolute power, he is still the world's sun-usher in nearly a century. Being in such a position is not bad. Many try their best to bring happiness to everyone, but they fail at their lofty goal and become the derision of others. Maybe I'd rather seize happiness for me and my loved ones. Alright, we can ask goodbye to Brother Ziying. In your eyes, are people separated by their origins? Baizi is playing his guqing, but he suddenly begins to ask you. They should not be divided, you reply to him. Yes, shouldn't. He sighs as a hint of sympathy flashes by. However, consider the ones reveling on Starpicker's platform and the other ones who died constructing it. They have never enjoyed the same thing, no matter how tiny or brief it would be. I know your road must be difficult, Brother Ziying. However, I believe our thoughts are the same on this issue. I want a well-accepted system sowing an ideal among people of various origins, wealth, or ability. Maybe selfish ones will still commit crimes, but they'll be punished by the good seeds, by the blame from their hearts. Xingjiao. The martial leader, right? All people pursue their own interests. Xingjiao's words are as concise as always. Balancing the interests of every party is easier said than done, and if a human being carries out this work, they will never satisfy anyone, though everyone under the influence of the instinct to seek benefits. The only means to counter our base instinct is through law. People will not trust another person involved in interests, another person who is inherently selfishly motivated, but the written regulations allow no misrepresentation. I hope our future state has a robust legal system. It will execute orders and proclaim prohibitions, and its laws will apply to everyone despite their ranks. Her eyes shine with earnestness and regret. Perhaps she recalls her days in Blith City. She wants a fair legal system. Jingying. Ziying, what makes my quarters music so excellent? Jingying puts an unrelated question smilingly in a fragrant breath. She smiles and answers, after seeing your embarrassment. In my eyes, the most wonderful part of his music is that it equally moves everyone. It can be appreciated by both a monarch on a throne and a peasant holding a hoe, and when the music begins, all the differences between the two listeners are cleared. They transform into two pure persons living in the same world. I don't know what our future holds, but I think in such a world, music should be freed from private enjoyment and delight everyone. Accessible concerts, accessible entertainment. Jingying gazes into the distance. Her eyes shine with a thin, soft mist. Dizhao, what is your opinion on an ideal state? You hope Dizhao can make a divination for you, as she usually does, yet the girl only shakes her head at the expectation. Ziying, as the chosen one, your responsibility is far greater than any other. Her eyes glimmer gently with her soft voice, which includes not only the making of decisions, but the consciousness of taking consequences from the decisions is more important. Maybe it is difficult to pick one from multiple options, and you may feel it's because you don't want to give up on any of them. But, in fact, The difficulty in making decisions comes from a lack of preparation for the results of giving up other options. So it's all she thinks it's about trade-offs and accepting those trade-offs. And don't push yourself too hard. Dizhao walks to you in quiet steps and holds her hand, touching your palm with hers again. As I said in the beginning, you are our key to the future. So decide bravely. No matter what you choose, I will be at your side. Dizhao continues. Her soft voice is the balmy afternoon breeze of Yarrow Garden thousands of years ago. Let us shoulder it together. You return to the tent and begin to think about their words. The future world will be governed by which kind of state? A state neatly running under just and clear laws, a state with refined culture and open-mindedness, or a state where its ruler holds absolute power and decides every matter. At this moment, you feel the future states should be... Right, these two options are hard power, so we can choose soft power. Maybe it looks like what Baizi and Jingying have said. An idea about the future flashes by your mind, yet it lasts only a brief moment and soon fades away. Morality +10, reputation +10. Oof, it will be a while before the attack on Xiqi City. What preparations will you make? Amid the sounds of horns and drums, the massive allied army sets off to the front, aiming at Xiqi City, Dizhao's last stronghold. Some of the Sui soldiers still try to resist. However, the severely outnumbered and dispirited garrison troops in the firm fortifications become the derision of everyone. The north gate is captured. Soon, the enemy troops in other directions surrender to you in large numbers. Countless armored infantrymen march into the city from every gate and charge at the palace city where Dizhao is located, forming a dark and dense surge. The fight lasts from dawn to dusk and ends in the cold evening wind. Now your troops have captured the whole palace city, and all the hostile soldiers in the capital have died or surrendered. The last opponent stands lonely and proudly before the lofty Starpicker's platform, holding his dark lance without any intention to retreat. This is Dizhao. No, the king has finally showed his face to us. I mean... Ooh. He's just cutting people down randomly. Cool. I mean, he's probably cutting my own soldiers down, that's probably what he's doing. Well, he could do some friendly fire, you know? He looks crazy enough to do that kind of thing. Where is Zhang? His lance pierces through the pressing allied soldiers in a fierce wind as he shouts in your direction. Dizhao, how long will you continue this stubborn resistance? You walk out from the crowd and stride to the man. Admit defeat now, and I will keep your dead body intact and arrange a somewhat decent funeral for you. Wow, this guy's so sassy. It's trash talk. Trash talk central! He replies with crazy laughter. Flames are lit up on Starpecker's platform behind him. Under the light, the man looks unspeakably grim. How dare a slave show off himself? Stop insulting our leader! Your soldiers are irritated at his words. Some even shoot arrows at him, trying to bring down the fatuous ruler on the spot. But Dizhao only sneers as a dazzling glow emits from his lance's head. With one powerful sweep, the light turns into a fiery dragon that engulfs all the arrows. It's like, so you just like, whoom, fire! Zhang, dare you accept my challenge? He points his burning dark lance at you, challenging you to a duel. Ooh. Well, I mean, you can't really back out of this. It's the plot, man. Plot armor, right? I believe in plot armor! Dizhao is the son of the deities who descended from the heavens to rule this land. Though, well, you're fairly confident you will win the wars. You have to fight the duel since your declination would pose serious suspicion to your prestige and legitimacy. Well, in short, it makes you a subject for ridicule. Oh, so you're just gonna get mocked if you say no. A clank of metals. You draw out your sword and see it emitting a purple golden glow in front of the enraged fiery dragon. Yes, I accept. Getting his mandate taken. I suppose. Oh, what? Oh dear, what the? So I guess I got debuffed. King's Rage special. Take 12 special damage every time I cast active skills. That's bad. That's pretty bad. Because my entire build is about using a bunch of active skills. Okay. Cool beans. Let's see this guy. He looks very calm. He's very calm and serene. Look at this guy. He's like... Oh, he's very cocky. He's like smirking. You know, he's like a god. I think he's like hundreds of years old and still looks like he's like in his prime. Fun times. So what does he have? King's defense. Negative 50% basic damage taken. Well, that sucks because I do a lot of basic damage, but whatever. King's defense. Number 2. Gain shield equaling to his lost HP every 3 rounds. He has 900 HP. Great. King's Fury. For every 1 time of basic damage taken, gain 2 killing desire and 4 resolute. Maybe I should have taken a defensive build. Because he's also bigger than me. What is this? He's like a giant dude. He's like 1.5 my height. Okay. Alright, I got Napoleon complex. Well, my robes are prettier. They're made out of magical man energy. So, haha. Right, you look like your typical edgy, broody guy that likes crows, you know, who keeps a crow as a pet, right? Like, come on, man. Okay, well, I'm probably not gonna have fun because of my build, but we'll just have to try it out. If I die, I'll just have to redo the game. Oh, wait, that's not the right, Okay, so it's actually... Oh, yeah. Alright, right. So the order is usually this one, because this one gives you the token. Oh my god, that's painful. Right, and then I buff myself. Oh my god, dude. That really sucks. Okay, so... I'm gonna have... Okay, I'll buff myself. I have to. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? I can... So this will allow me to... This glorious armor will allow me to heal 20% of my max H. So 20% is 28. Alright, I should probably... Actually, wait a minute. Let me... This is not a good build. Right, let me re-roll, see if I can get some Ying tokens. There we go, there's a Ying token. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Alrighty, that's a lot of damage. I'm almost dead. That's fun. So, if I try to re-roll for this last Phoenix, I mean, I don't know, like... Okay, that's a good roll. How much damage does he do? Take special damage equal... Okay, he's burning. 4 basic damage. Wait, is he copying my buffs? What? Oh, every time he takes... Oh, that's gross. Wait, then I can't use that skill because it's gonna do extra damage. Like basic damage, it's just... Plus 12 additional damage for shielded targets. That's probably not a good move, actually. I don't... Okay, so we're not gonna attack him. So I just wasted this. I should have not... Okay, that's fine. Let me... This is special damage. So that's the special one. Right, so the special okay, we can use this because it's not gonna do much. Then I can buff I can heal myself. Maybe. I can apply debuffs on him, but I don't think it's worth the cost. Right, because he's gonna... it's because the build is not good against him. That's the issue. Okay, so... I don't want to use items because it's like I didn't need them, but I might have to use them. Because it's either I don't use them and then I have to redo this entire campaign, or I use them. Yeah, I can use the healing dew, but it... Yeah, this build is not good. Okay, well... Or the other option is you turtle, right? So you don't do too much. You don't attack him. So he won't do anything. Right? Because it's only for the basic damage taken. Right. He gains shielding every 3 rounds. Right, so the debuff should cancel out his buff. So that's the good news. But... Anyway... Probably a Dragon Force. So the other option is to just keep stacking this. Right? And then you just keep stacking this buff, right? And then you heal yourself. And you just keep turtling. And keep stacking this buff. This reviving buff to counterattack his thingy. Okay, he's already down about like 400 HP, so this fight might not be too bad. I am debuffed. That's not fun. I am -3 dice. Eliminated. 3 die eliminated. Okay. Cool beans. So I'm just gonna buff myself. Because I can. Oh, I did this wrong. I did the wrong order. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. I'm not attacking. That's the thing. Right, then I heal myself. And then... Oh, actually, I should probably use that sharpest blade skill, because he has lost a lot of HP by then. It's a bit overkill. Okay, but it works out. So the build does stack a lot of killing intent, which makes you do a lot more damage. Oh, okay. It was alright, I found a way to mitigate the weaknesses of this build, of my build, by not being too aggressive. Okay. No regal look will be cast by the eyes of this man again. Only the last glow of the setting sun shrouds the platform. No. Dizhao presses a hand on his wounds and staggers to regain balance, supporting himself with the lance, running deeply into the platform's top. His face turns grim as he tears his robe to pieces, ignoring the splatters of blood from his wounds. Then, with a desperate shout, he pierces his hand into his chest and pulls out his heart. My god, this is like some like metal shit. I mean, his pupils are rolled back. He's like reaching for something. Is he even human? Oh, I guess no. We've established that he's not human. His action holds you in utter astonishment. As you're pinned down by surprise, you see Dizhao lifting up his heart with one hand and pointing at the sky with the other, letting out a harsh, inhuman shriek. Mother! Mother! My mother! Okay, so mother is supposed to be a deity, right? It's like, you know, the father is like the son, the Holy Spirit, and the mother, right? There's a mother. As if answering his call, a silvery beam from the pitch-black sky runs down through the clouds. It's more like piercing through the clouds, enveloping your opponent. The beam is harmlessly white, yet its effect is more fearsome than the fiercest of flames. I too like blinding LEDs. That is, you know, the most beautiful, I don't know, I guess he has plot armor, or mom armor, I guess. Upon the first moment he touches it, Dizhao's body becomes limp, as if his bones were extracted. Oh god. The man twists and melts under the light, and no matter how hard he struggles or yells, he can't escape from the bright prison. As the beam fades away, you find the majestic man has turned into a miserable pool of rotten flesh, like muddy soil left by a flood. Oh, she punished him. Oh, she didn't come to save him. Damn, I guess Dizhao really messed up. Human beings always fail to discipline themselves in the end. A cold and distant voice rings out in the night sky. Ooh, an anxious feeling begins to grow in your mind. After gripping your sword firmly in your hand, you raise your head to the sky, along with the countless people below, trying to discern what is happening. A piercing drone assaults from inside your head. You feel the pangs from your temples and tumble to the ground, hands pressing on your head. Other people faint also under such a violent and fierce attack. Oh, so you got like tinnitus or a migraine. Nice! As everyone is suffering from the strange droning, the night sky is split by a huge crevice. Beams of 5 colors flow out from it, dazzling every mortal eye that dared to look directly at them. Oh, only 5 colors? It couldn't have been like 100 of them, including some ultraviolet waves, you know, the kinds of colors that birds can see that we can't see. I think insects can see a broader spectrum than humans. Amid the intertwining colors, you know, white, black, ochre, cyan, and green, a figure slowly descends. Okay, this figure is labeled boss. Okay, this doesn't sound good.
终局即将来临，绽放在
there's
天
some
顶之
clouds.
上的五色光华，究竟是黑夜的永续，还是黎明的曙光？
The end is near. You finally see her clearly as the figure gently drifts down. Her ochre hair floats in the still air like ink-painted clouds. Her dark robe resembles mountains standing for eons, and as she holds a lotus in hand, azure and emerald sheens ripple around like the surface of a flooding river. Yet, your attention is drawn to the most extraordinary part of her, the countless arms behind. They stretch in every direction, manifesting her unimaginable power. So the boat is not in the river anymore. It's in the sky. Cool. You know, air travel, airfare. I hope I don't, it's you know, free business class? Or is it economy since, you know, I'm on a wooden seat, right? It's very uncomfortable. You hear nearly indiscernible voices amid the drone. They are chanting something familiar and solemnly. From chaos comes cosmos. With a young world emerges 2 deities. Oh, this is a lore dump. One shaped the mountains and rivers and bestowed fertileness on the land. One molded clay into human forms and inspired into them their souls. Mother! She is the mother! A shout comes from below, followed by thousands of echoes. People kneel down and press their foreheads before the lady in the air. She makes her presence. But you do not kneel. A faint feeling alarms you. The so-called deity has not come to bless the mortals. She has come to wipe you all out. Okay. It's like Noah's flood type of deal. Human beings are evil, so let's just kill them all. Nice. I appreciate this. This is the boss. Okay. Who are you? You draw out the sword and point it at the lady. Oh, okay. Well, he asks a very cheeky rhetorical question. Her face remains calm and still under your provoking, and she begins to speak. Senseless children, your waywardness may be forgiven, but your defiance may not. What exactly does she mean? Is she talking about your uprising against Dizhao? And is she calling that defiance? Even though he kind of deserved it, right? I sent a dark bird to your lands a century ago after picking Dizhao as your ruler. Acting ruler? Because I had spent too much effort to curb the 2 calamities before. But the scene that has unfolded before me proves that my ideals are too wishful. She throws a lotus on Dizhao's remains. You are, after all, made from soil. And even after being animated by divine breath, you still committed crimes out of selfishness and turned natural disasters into imposed calamities. He has a penchant for, not just causing natural disasters, but causing calamities. Well, Dizhao's remains merge into the lotus before the flower flies back to her hand. I too am disappointed by what I have created. Children, abandon your foolish ideas and return to my bosom. That's nasty, man. This is a very nasty god. Myriads of arms emerge with her voice and throw lotuses to the mortals below. In an instant, the people on the ground suffer Dizhao's fate. They twist and struggle in pure light and eventually melt to mud. You are astounded and infuriated by her action, and indignance rages in your mind. How can she, as the mother and creator of all, deprive the mortals of their lives so carelessly and mercilessly? And after doing your best in exchange for everyone's futures, why? When did she come to your side? You are surprised by her move, yet you soon collect yourself. Now, facing the beams of 5 colors, you slowly lift up your weapon against her. Okay. Oh. Well, I'm starting at half HP. Yay! I'm in danger. Ooh. Well, I mean, nice dress, lady. It's kind of cool, right? Black is the new black. And she has a lot of lotuses, and, yeah, she did something to me. Mute. -3 dice when the round begins. Well, I barely notice it, but cool. Naraka Guard is her buff. She's immune to special damage. Okay. Purify. Restore 50% of lost HP every 4 rounds. Okay. Shape. For every attack with active skills, gain 3 shields. So she will gain... Well, I mean, she's an NPC, so she's not going to gain too much shield. It's only 3? Well, maybe she has a multi-hit move because she has many arms, you know? Multi-slap. Super multi-bitch slap. Yep. That's gonna happen. Okay, so she's not like the other guy that, like, punishes you for every skill you cast, so I guess we'll be fine. I'm gonna lock these die and reroll. Well, anyway. We'll just burn her first. That's step 1, right? And she gets some nice juicy debuffs. Yeah, we're doing lots of damage. Okay, I have to heal myself. That's number 1. Okay. Oh, how much HP did I gain? It's like 28. Okay. It had to be of 28. Okay, so I'm gonna buff myself again. Then we get the chosen power, so we can buff myself again. I'm trying to think. Oh, she's not going to attack, so I can actually sacrifice HP. But she is immune to all the special damage. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I will smack her. And apply more debuffs. And then continue to build up stacks, because 20 killing desire is pretty good. Makes me feel special. Then you do Azure Blade. So we'll invest everything into the skill. So it's probably not going to be... I'm probably going to have to lose 1 die because I don't have the Ying. Because technically... Okay, it's weird. The mechanics are weird, but anyway, it works. Just smack her, do as much damage as possible. Yeah, that's the end of the turn. Okay. 41 damage. I don't know what does the damage at the end of the round still. Oh, it's this... Okay, it's this buff. Never mind. It's the end chapter ceremony. Wait, but isn't she immune to special damage? And re-roll the other 4, because they're not exactly useful to me. Right, so that increases that. Then that gains you a stack, and I have to spend it before I use the other weapon. So I'll use it on that buff there. Right, then you have the 2 extra tokens. You buff yourself again. And then oh. Wait, not having a Ying is actually really bad. A few times. Oh, damn. That is a lot of damage. And then, what is the, remove 1 chosen power after the enhancement. We're just gonna attack you again. I think this will only give me 1 token back. Okay, it gives me 2, so... we can smack them for 116. That's not a lot of or whatever. I'll shield myself. I don't think the order was great, but it's okay, right? Oh. I have some OP items here, so, the retaliation damage is pretty OP. You feel the difference of powers for the first time in this fight. You solve her attacks and hit the deity again and again, yet her glorious aureole shows no sign of fading away. After all, you were created by her. An immortal body has limits. An unrestrainable frustration begins to assault following the thought. She cannot be defeated. Zhang, you shall not fall here. Familiar figures appear- oh, so I guess canonically you're supposed to lose that fight. Huh. Well, I guess, I know what I'm doing. Haha. Familiar figures appear at your side. They are here. Nuzao, Baizi, Jingying, Xingjiao, Xiao, and Kui. They press their palms on yours, infusing you with their powers, and you feel the currents converging and surging inside of you. Your companions glare at the deity. Their eyes shine with a resolution that stands firm against time. You shall not bind me, nor anyone. Nuzao's eyes are lit up by icy blue flames as her star wheel begins to glow. Deities will fade into the past, and those who walk into the future with responsibility will be only human beings. I have lost too much, and so has this world. Baichi's gentle look has gone. His robe flutters in the wind. It is time to stop the deprival. It's a bit of an awkward translation, but I get it. You want to stop the depriving of our rights, I suppose? Depriving of our lives? What drives a being to claim itself divine? Pride of controlling life and death and fate? Jingying asks with a cold grin, her eyes shining with utter unruliness. A mortal's freedom extends beyond the borders of life and death. Those who love will live in love, and those who won't love shall be deserted. Deities are mortals under another set of rules. Xingjiao glares at her as golden sparks glimmer, and anyone who comes to the mortal world shall abide by the laws here. Murderers shall be executed. Hey, who are you, colorful woman? Did you just come out of a dying vat? Xiao blows away his foxtail grass and raises his head, spitting at the mother disdainfully. Think yourself superior since you can play with clay? Your scary appearance startles men and even pigs in the pen. We always say successors excel predecessors. Kui protects you behind him and looks at the deity firmly. Even mortals know kids may become better than their parents. The younger overtakes the older, and students can match their teachers. If a deity doesn't know this simple fact and treats everything in such a arrogant and commanding way, we shall banish you from our mortal world. Their words echo in your mind. Indeed, she is a deity, and the mother of mortals. However, the world, this prosperous landscape, was shaped by humans. Human beings err, yet they keep advancing. Responsibility and forgiveness, for freedom and bravery, resistance and protection. Every mortal is blessed by such qualities, and by correcting the course of the world again and again, they guide themselves to the future. You stand up. Then, on the top of Starpicker's platform, you shout at the lofty deity and every living being below. We are rags and pottery, and will be torn or broken in only one strike. We are dews and blossoms that vanish and wither in an instant. Maybe we are so tiny in your eyes, coming to this world crying and wailing with our wants and hopes. But you have made a mistake. A confident smile extends across your face as you look at the arrogant deity and stare her down, you know? Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? You just stare her down. Our power lies not in the capacity of making great history or achievements, trying our best to live a life of ourselves as common individuals in this harsh world. This is where our power rests. From prehistoric times, we survived amid beasts, to today's bustling days of craft, plow, and trade. Every common mortal contributes a bit to the legacy of our era with their brief life. We do not possess sharp claws nor great strength, and yet we founded tribes, we founded clans, and we founded states in the ruthless wilds. You may view us as weaklings, but the power of shaping and reshaping civilization resides in our feebleness. You point your sword at the mother again with unparalleled courage. Therefore, we shall fight to our end today. None of us shall step back or beg for your mercy, and we shall drive you off here, even if it means the cost of all of our lives. Clanks of metals and deafening yells overwhelm the ground before you. Everyone's eyes brighten up with a firm resolution as they follow your example and point their weapons at the deity. Oh, so not everyone was turned into putty mush. Nice. I'm glad some have survived. Victory. The calmness on the mother's face fades away. She is an emotionless deity. Yet, at this moment, surprise, vexation, and frustration seem to come through the cracks of her, her perfect visage. You must have felt the power of these kids, right? Another crevice splits the sky, and a faint glow sheds on the mother's head. A male voice. Oh, they have genders? Oh god. A male voice then begins to speak. I've told you, they can take care of themselves. The male voice speaks with leisureliness and a faint sigh. Let us come back together and enjoy each other's companies, as the kids have done. To your surprise, as the voice finishes speaking, an odd expression emerges on the mother's face, as if she is annoyed or somewhat shy. Then, after casting you an icy look, she follows the glow and returns to the distant canopy. Oh, okay. I guess we're fine. Is her husband calling her back? She's like, yeah, let the kids go. Let them play in their woods. Blah, blah, blah. The night has ended, and dawn finally comes. As the squad of 7 has returned from Starpicker's platform, a red sun marches out from the east horizon, casting glorious rays on this land. Everyone in Xiqi City begins to acclaim as they gather around and surround you in the morning glow, throwing you to the air again and again with joyful shouts. You now know that the past era has ended at this moment. A brand new future awaits. Oh, Mr. Fisherman has drawn a card. There's one more event coming up.
当一切都归于平静，故事
As all the disturbances are settled, the story is coming to a close. And following the collapse of Starpicker's platform, the embodiment of extreme extravagance, the Sui Palace built on immeasurable wealth and countless lives is totally destroyed. Now it's time to establish a new order. I guess the story is kind of reminiscent of, the French Revolution, right? It's kind of like the Palace of Versailles type of thing. You know, you've got this golden gates and then everyone else doesn't even have bread to eat. So I've unlocked a state of rights and music. Suppression and warfare had nearly torn this land to pieces. However, you finally see an age where people abolish their belief in deities and rule for themselves. The new state should run under neither strict laws nor a ruler with absolute power. Instead, it should consist of a new set of systems and means that can connect different states and clans. It is the only possible method to manifest the power of culture and make the age of civilization last. You recall the future in Baichi and Jingying's eyes. In that world, rights and moral codes guide everyone, and people from various classes are regulated and connected by music. Yep, it's basically a bread circus. Throw enough bread circus and give us entertainment that's endless, and we'll be fine. We'll placate ourselves. They'll be completely fine, right? That's the state of the world right now. Such a world will undoubtedly console the sorrowful people from the wounds of war. Your look becomes tender as you think about it. Then let us depict the amazing scene on the new canvas. Oh wow, this art card has changed its color scheme. It's much more colorful and saturated, right, with vibrant colors. In the inauguration ceremony 3 days later, you announce the name of the new state to be Yuan and confer your father a posthumous title as King Wen of Yuan. You also change Tiansui's name to Longyuan and make the city your capital. Oh, Longyuan. That's actually interesting, because Longyuan was supposed to be the dream city of Jingying's illusion. Under your instruction, Sang Yisheng and Nan Gongshi compile and promulgate, oh my god, I've never heard this word before, promulgate top-to-bottom codes of rights and music. They take rights to distinguish people of various identities and regulate society while using music to aid the system and relieve social conflicts. By abolishing slavery and the tradition of human sacrifice, you also emphasize the function and the value of human beings in society and declare their lives should not be traded and used in appraising goods. Therefore, you govern and consolidate, making your people live in order and benefiting their offspring. A new era foretelling the future and prosperous years finally arrives. Instead of stopping at this moment, you still manage all necessary matters personally for the state who has just emerged from suffering. A year passes. Today, Longyuan City has recovered from the war and has become a city of prosperity and abundance. People walk in the streets smiling in happiness. And someone has booked the most luxurious room, Muye Abode, in the grandest restaurant on East Avenue. It is said that the name of the dining room comes from just an epic battle a year ago. Oh yes, the battle at Muye. You walk into the room and take off the ordinary outfit concealing your identity, yet you find they are already waiting for you here. Oh, it's your friends. Oh, how sweet. They are Dizhao, Baichi, Jingying, Xing... Okay, this is kind of repetitive. Xingjiao, Xiaonkui. Baichi and Jingying chose to stay in Longyuan as your advisors, while the other 4 companions returned to where they belonged to. They have been expecting a reunion for a long time. Hey, Ziying! When will you mend the avenue to Namba and connect it to Galsi? Xiao pats heavily on your shoulder as he sees you, and he continues his complaint. It took a long time to get here, you know? It's such a long way. You should be more considerate for us. Brother, he has connected the avenue there, and Lady Maki just went to Longyuan to replenish her stock last week. Kui nudges his brother's arm to remind him. You blockhead! Xiao speaks with a I just wanted to play a joke on him, and you exposed me again. The friends laugh joyfully and take their seats one by one. However, as you look through the room, you find Dizhao is not there. Pardon me. I encountered something in another world and arrived late. Oh yes, I just went into another dimension and, settled some matters there, no big deal. A familiar voice rings out as Dizhao finally appears. Her bangs are a bit disheveled. Maybe she was too hurried from her journey. You walk to her and welcome the girl. I've been to many places this year. Dizhao looks at you smilingly. At this moment, the girl's aloof aura seems to have faded away, and even her otherworldly smile becomes sweet, making up the difference between her and a common maiden. And Ziying, do you know? She suddenly stands on her tiptoes and gets closer to your ear, as if she's going to whisper to you. The futures I saw were different from this one. Her warm breath itches your ear. Nevertheless, I like this one more. And I like you, the one standing here and now, a lot more. Oh my... Okay. Dizhao winks at you before you can ask her what the true future looks like. Then the girl turns from you gracefully and takes her seat. The true future? Oh dear. You can only answer yourself with a resigned grin. Indeed, if the now, created by yourself, is already good enough, why bother to think about what the other you in the other timeline would be like? The banquet begins with cheerful toasts and merry laughter. All the titles and identities become unnecessary at this moment. The persons sitting around the table are only happy Longyuan folks. Oh. It looks like we have finished the game. Oh, we got a nice slideshow. That's cute. I guess this is the credits scene. So we have artwork of Dizhao here. And we have the Dragon Lady's falcon. Yes, the love plot between these two. And they're dancing. Oh, how elegant. Then we have the two brothers, Kuei and Xiao. There's a modern day person. That's the fisherman in modern clothing and having a guitar on his back.